Hail to the king, baby.
Howdy, guys. It's Michael B, and I'm back, and probably just as bad as I was before. Anyways, it's Michael B, and tonight we've got a fun show planned. We're going to be talking all about big fun, as my buddy Mystery Encoder likes to call it. Basic fun, as you guys know, I was away on vacation last week, and it absolutely killed me because all this news released about basic fun, all kinds of cool shit for us to talk about. And I was away and I couldn't talk about it, but that was actually kind of a good thing because instead of me, I kind of wear my, emotions on my sleeve and instead of me running my mouth off and jumping the gun and saying all kinds of negative things, it actually gave me time to reflect, think about what I wanted to say so I could kind of separate my personal feelings and what I'm interested in, as well as talk about the business side of things and whether or not some of these are good decisions. So I've actually got a bunch of friends joining me tonight. I'm really excited about. I actually missed out on going to the Cleveland Gaming Expo this year, and I'm pretty sad about that. Some of these guys went, some other guys didn't. One person in particular, apparently people have saw his face. I don't know. I still think it's a mystery. I still think it was AI, not real. And another one of my friends is here that I'm really excited about. Some people say he's my little brother on YouTube. I'm excited he's here. I'm going to get to them in just a minute. Before I do that, I did want to talk about something else. There was a lot of news last week about home arcade, and there was a lot of fun stuff, but there was also some really friggin' sad news. I don't know if many of you people in the home arcade community would know this individual, but certainly those people that have been watching me ever since I started doing videos on YouTube would know the name The Gamechasers. They would know the channel. So when I started doing YouTube, it was one of the first channels I actually ever watched. I was a big fan of RetroWare TV, and Gamechasers was my favorite channel. And I was lucky enough, I started making videos myself, started talking about the NES games I was collecting, the retro video games, that I actually developed a little bit of a friendship with Billy from the Gamechasers. And, I was super shy. I'm a shy person by nature, believe it or not. And I always was kind of nervous about talking to him. He engaged. He was really super nice, tried to be a good friend to me. And I was just a little starstruck, and I probably didn't try as hard as I should back. Anyways, I did eventually become pretty good friends with him and connected a lot of times on social media. He was always really helpful. And I give you an example. Their first season of the Gamechasers, they used a theme for Street Fighter, the opening theme from Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition. And I wanted to use it in videos years later. And I actually reached out to him, and he was always kind enough to try to help out and share that information with me, share the song so I could use it in my videos as well. So super good dude. But probably my favorite thing about him was, you guys may know, if you've heard me talk about this before, I had another local Newfoundlander that was kind of a YouTuber as well, and he actually was super good friends with the Gamechasers. He's one of the people that really brought me into that scope, used to bring me into the Skype calls. He would randomly call me at like 3:30 in the morning, and I would get in there, and there would just be a plethora of YouTube celebrities to me, like the Gamechasers, Billy mainly, and other people like 8-Bit, Eric, sometimes Wood Hawker was there. You guys know Wood, he's massive, famous YouTuber now. Anyways, a couple years ago, this individual, I just want to bring up this video here now. This individual also passed away, and one of my favorite things they ever did was these guys actually, took him in, made him a friend, and really made him feel special. I just got to get it in cinema mode so I can show you guys this. Apologize. It's like I don't know what I'm doing. So I don't know where it went. Here it is right here. So I just want to show you a little bit of the Gamechasers. So this is my buddy Keeb here from Newfoundland. Newfoundland used to be NL Game Collector. I can't remember exactly his name. Keeb the Joking Gamer was the channel name, and they were just so kind to him. Like, they met him in Toronto. He went up with his mom. These guys took him with them, made him a part of the show, made him feel really special. And I've always really super appreciated that. So, outside of being like a YouTuber, outside of being all these extra things, it's the fact that they were so kind to, like, my buddy Chad, who also passed away, that, always has a special place in my heart. Anyways, Billy died after a very short battle with cancer this past week. And if you guys could just do me a personal favor, go back, check their back catalog, check them out. They were really, really funny, really interesting, and just Billy was just such a nice person. So, really sad that he's gone, and hope, after he passed, I'm sure you've seen probably plenty of videos over YouTube and stuff like that about him. Go check out his channel, watch his back catalog, and he's an awesome person. So anyways, that was pretty much an awful thing that happened last week. So anyways, the good thing is now, wherever we go after this, hopefully Keeb and Billy are having laugh together wherever they are. So thanks guys for listening to me during that. I didn't want to make like a full video, and a lot of people were making kind of like tributes and stuff like that. I just thought it would be nice just to kind of tell people who he was, and mainly not so much about the show, but the kind of person he was, and cool things he did. So anyways, that's the last of my sappy business. I got some people I want to bring on the screen now to talk about the basic fun news from last week. Did I lose anybody? I don't think so. So first up, we're not going to see his face, but we have Mystery Encoder joining us. And this was a surprise. He's here to make fun of me because he thinks I work for Big Fun. Isn't that correct, Mystery Encoder?
All the inside info on Big Fun.
What? All the inside info on Big Fun? That's why you think I work there?
Yep.
We've also got Chaotic BPR. Chaotic, I love spending time with you. And one of the hard things though is I'm trying to get off the smokes now. And I remember I used to stream with you, and sometimes you'd have darts. You've quit smoking now, and you vape, right? So that's going to be a little hard to see. A little hard for me to see that. But I'll survive, and I'm happy you're here. We've also got, funny enough, Mystery Encoder's here. Mystery Encoder's long-lost father is here as well. Bill's Retro Gaming Show.
Here we go. Hey, everyone. Good to see you. Good to be here.
We're also joined by Galaga Guy 88. Galaga Guy, thank you so much for making yourself available. And then last but certainly not least, we've got Gamer Fridge, who didn't do Open Fridge tonight. What the hell is that, man?
Oh, man, everybody was tired, and we're coming back from Cleveland, and I just had a lot to do, so we just decided to take a break. And then you called me up and said, "Hey, you want to do a show?" I said, "Why not?"
I'm very disappointed in you.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Mystery Coders.
You made me miss Open Fridge for this.
Yeah, Meatball was mad at me too, but
Meatball will understand. Anyways, all these guys have shows. Even Mystery Encoder, who actually doesn't have a show but kind of has a show. B Kong is his meat puppet, and whenever Mystery Encoder wants to do something, he just gets B Kong to do it. You were on last night, Mystery Encoder, with B Kong for 2 hours doing the new upcoming pinball mod. So are you excited about that, or regretting you ever did it? What's the story there?
I think there's more regret than excitement at this point. I got to deal with P-Dubs and Gamer Fridge and all these people, and then I got to deal with B doing everything wrong and P-Dubs being angry about B getting to show it off.
Oh yeah, P-Dubs is definitely that person. Like P-Dubs is always questioning, like, why didn't they come to me? And then he's like, I don't know why everybody calls me the mayor, and then he gets pissed off if someone else goes to
Well, I'm
somebody
sorry
else.
that I don't want somebody to berate me about my house being dirty while they make me mod my own crap for their content. So
I know, what a dick, right? Anyways, all these guys have shows except for Mystery Encoder. Chaotic BPR, you can check out Thursday nights. He's got a show, Yo Retro, with our buddy Six. You guys really dug deep into the At Games pinball world, and you're actually really good at pinball too. I'm actually kind of jealous. You kick ass. I'm never going to get scores like you. So good to see you, Chaotic. We talked about Open Fridge. Open Fridge comes on Mondays, usually about 2 hours before my show. Guys, honestly, I'm so disappointed in you. I don't see enough of you there. Honestly, it's really good content. A lot of quick topics. They do some other crazy stuff sometimes, and I'm like, I don't know what this is, but I love the way you and his guests get together and talk. A lot of the same people here have been on it. Gallagher guy, you've been on Open Fridge a time or two. Same with you, Chaotic, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
They helped me start the show, so yeah, they were both.
Yeah,
there.
I was only the first like 35 episodes. That was me. And I was like, I couldn't take it anymore. I'm like, bye, Jay. I gotta leave.
So now I got Tote Todd.
At Tote Todd.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, I made a comment earlier. I firmly believe this. I think Todd's in love with P-Dubs. Like, he's modeled his looks after him. Like,
Once you said that, I couldn't get it out of my head. I'm like, holy crap, he does look like him.
Exactly. And then last but not least, I like giving this guy a hard time because he has a show now. He always had a show, but now he has a consistently or somewhat consistently timed show. Bill's Retro Gaming Show is here. Bill, good to see you, my man.
Always good to be here.
I appreciate it, brother.
Yep.
All right. I won't belay this too long, but I did want to, hopefully I can go back and get all these. I do have a super chat goal for tonight, so I will probably make you guys stay longer if we get it. So I do want to bring up what the super chat goal is tonight. The double down, you've probably seen it in the screen on YouTube there or whatever it's called. I'm rusty, guys. Give me a break. So we do have a special double down tonight, and that is if we get 5 super chats, $2 or more, whatever it is, we're going to talk about who are the replacements, which is one of the topics we're talking about tonight. I'm spoiling a little bit, but I'm sure you guys already know. Unfortunately, WrestleFest isn't going to have all the characters. 3 are going to be missing, but we do know they are going to be replaced. So if we get the double down, we'll be having a little bit of a conversation about who the replacements are. I think I know, but I'd like to get your guys' feelings and takes as well. Now, we already do have a couple super chats here, and I want to say thank you very much. We've got one from Stock Jock. I won't be buying these basic fun cabs, especially WrestleFest, due to no nostalgia for the game. I am sad for you guys that wanted the big names. Thank you very much for the super chat, Stock Jock. That's really, really nice of you, man. And we also got another super chat coming down here from Officially Unofficial All-Star Rockstar lineup for tonight's show. What up, everyone? And I also want to say a huge thank you to, huge congratulations to Officially Unofficial. Made a big purchase today. I'm going to get this off screen so we don't have to, so we can see our beautiful faces again. Made a huge purchase today. Guess what this guy did? He's crazy. He put a down payment on the new Star Wars Fall of the Empire pinball machine.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
That's big bucks right there. Congratulations, my man.
What's the
Thank
down
you.
payment look like on that thing?
One long.
One long.
One long.
One long.
One long. You only need one. And Stock Jock's back. $5 super chat. So we're already 3 down, 2 to go. Gamer Fridge's good show, except for all the AI rap crap intro. Now get off my lawn. Thank you very much, Stock Jock. I'm so sad I never got to hang out in Cleveland with you guys, especially you, Stock Jock. Yeah. You're my buddy. Stock Jock, I think you're wrong because AI sucks. But I love your intro for Open Fridge. That's like the best thing I ever saw, especially when Stock Jock comes out and he's like, get off my lawn with the hose.
My wife met him and hugged him, and then she later on realized it was Stock Jock from my intro. And then she went back to him and said, "You're Stock Jock from the intro," and she like gave him another hug. And she's like, it didn't click for her, but she's like, yeah,
That's
we'd
funny.
already hugged, but she thought she's like, "You're from the intro," so she thought it was the greatest thing to meet him. Oh, he was really great.
I got to
Good
see that
sport.
live on y'all stream.
Yeah, it was
That's
so
good.
funny. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's like, "Wait, you're Stock Jock." So it was a great time. We had a great time.
MG, who gets mad at me if I don't read his comments, even if it's not my fault and I am reading his comments and he's watching the show 30 minutes behind,
Ignore him.
asks, why is Mystery Encoder hiding his face again? It's already burned into my subconscious.
Sorry,
It never
never
happened. It
Never happened. I don't believe it was actually
No.
him.
No.
We didn't believe it when we seen him. It's like, is that really him? His face does not match his voice to me, so it's good that he's the icon again. So
Yeah, this is not a shot against you, Bill, but I anticipate a Mystery Encoder to be more of a commanding presence. And for people to say he looks like Bill, I'm like, Bill just seems so nice and meek.
People don't even know Bill has a show.
That's right.
you didn't
No
know Bill
clue.
has a show?
Nobody knows that Bill has a show.
Well, he has a show now. It's
he
really
has a
good.
show.
Apparently.
Yeah.
No, you
Yeah.
actually got me.
And
on the
every
trip.
week it's a new premiere.
You got me on my trip back from Cleveland. I was listening to you, Bill. You kind of got me halfway through. Then I ended up listening
cool.
to Daddy and almost fell asleep. So I had to turn that off.
Got you halfway through with what?
To Cleveland. I'm from Cleveland. I was heading home, so I listened to Bill's show on the way home. So.
I'm just taking that out of context and thinking about you getting halfway through to the show.
He got halfway through the show, as MG would say in Walkabout Mini Golf. That's a difficult wank. We also got a $10 super chat here from our buddy B Kirby.
Oh
B,
man, they're flowing in.
I know.
Yep.
You guys are awesome. So B Kirby,
you're
the Chicago
cool.
Arcade Guy, $10. B, you didn't have to do that. B every week is on like everybody's stream, dropping memberships. What a nice guy. Thank you
yeah.
so much for
Very
the super
good
chat,
guy.
brother.
Oh yeah.
And I
That's
agree.
great.
What a nice group of guys. Oh my God. Well, they keep coming. We hit our goal, so we're gonna be going longer tonight. Sorry, guys. Well, you only needed one more super chat to hit the goal, so there it is, officially unofficial. Thank you very much, brother. You saved some money, man. You just made a pretty big purchase there. And we also got a $9.99 super chat for Joe Cade. I did ask Joe Cade to come on the show tonight as well, but unfortunately, Joe didn't bring home his streaming gear. So, anyways, we had a call about it, and he was super nice. And I said, "Don't worry about it, man. Next time, I like short notice." Like,
Can I say something about Joe? Joe, real quick. He is not like he is on the streams. In person,
not at all.
completely different. He is unhinged, wild.
Is he just mean?
No,
he
he's just
hates everybody.
loud.
And
Loud.
I thought he was more like Mike
Sheldon,
B when he's not
back me up
streaming.
here.
Just-
Okay. I was at Pastimes, like playing games, and all of a sudden I heard this blood curdling scream. I thought someone was being murdered, and it was Joe Cade entering the building. Like, this dude he's wild. He is a wild.
oh
character.
man, now I'm jealous. I would
He
love
was
to meet him.
jacked
Yeah.
up, man.
Oh,
Oh man, he's yeah. You gotta watch out for him, man. And he was.
he'd
like,
make Danny.
loud.
He makes Danny seem calm.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
how Joe Cade is. You're like,
It
oh,
was-
Danny,
no.
he's a pretty calm guy.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
You get him in the fighting games, man. He was just going nuts. He's like, "Jay, let's play, Jay, let's go." I'm like,
Yeah,
"Who are you?"
Oh no.
it was awesome. It was
It
awesome.
was great.
And Jason, you didn't have to do that. Jason, the best moderator in the business. He's here for everybody. Sometimes, doing 2-3 shows at once. Threw a $10 chat in there. I was feeling unsafe. Thank you very much, Jason. Greatly appreciated. So we hit our goal. We're going to be doing the guests on the wrestlers. I've got a pretty good idea, but I want to hear your thoughts on it. So we'll do that a little bit later. I apologize, guys. I was gone all last week. I was working. I didn't take any of my stuff. My focus was on work, and then my focus was on going to AEW All Out in Toronto, which was awesome. I was there with a great group of guys. I was there with Nostalgia, who's not Mystery Encoder, apparently. I was also there with my buddies Conti and Atul, and even Charlie Chuck came out the first night we were there. We played a bunch of pinball. It was amazing. So I'll talk more about that at another time. A lot of people here, so I want to get into the basic fun chat. So tons of information came out last week. Lots of leaked photos, information. Start out with something a little bit weird. Start out talking about the Counter series, because I thought this was one of the more positive things. So we saw a look at the counter series, some of the counter games we're getting. We already knew about these, but it looks like we're getting WrestleFest, which I managed to find. Let me just share this. I should be more ready. Take inspiration from Bill.
Gotta have your tabs open.
That's
Well, I
right.
got them open. I just didn't have them ready. So this is the first one, arcade classic WrestleFest countercade machine. We found this last week. Looks like they're going to be about $199 US. That's the guess right now. But this was one of the ones that led to the controversy about whether or not there were going to be 9 wrestlers or 12 wrestlers, because you look at this countercade image and it does have all 12 wrestlers featured. But if you go over to the box image, you'll see that they cut those out. But this is the first one. I don't think everybody here are big countercade fans, but the other countercades I actually am very interested in, because they're doing a Tempest and they're doing a Centipede. And here's why I'm interested. They both have vertical screens for those cabs. It's one of my big problems whenever they make these games, especially in the 3/4 or larger form factor with Atari. It's the rule of 20/80. There's only about 20% of the games that are vertical, 80% of the games are horizontal, so they always use a horizontal screen. So even though I've never been a big countercade guy, I've only ever bought like the Miss Pac-Man countercade through like the shopping network because it was on a ridiculous sale. I think I might be interested in a countercade for the first time from Basic Fun. What do you guys think of the countercade lineup, what they're offering, all that stuff? Let's start with Jay.
Yeah, like you, I'm not a big countercade guy, but I did just get this Turtles size, so I don't know. Is comparative? How big are we talking? Like, is it like the iArcade where they just cut the top off and that's the size of it, or is it like
No, it's much smaller.
Is it like a smaller?
It's like the size of your quarter deck.
Okay.
Yeah, your quarter arcade.
Just having this and getting used to the size. I don't know. Like you said, if the form factor is right, like in the Centipede, in that vertical, I think a Centipede I would be interested in.
Right?
Yeah.
And so, have you ever seen the Evercade Alpha? You know what that is?
Yeah.
So
okay.
it's exactly like an Evercade Alpha,
Okay,
except
okay.
you put the
Yeah,
games in.
There you go.
That's a good size.
Yeah, that's what she
They
said.
have one of those.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, she does.
Brian, what do you think? You ever been a
okay.
countercade guy?
I mean, for like size reasons and everything, and space reasons, like countercade's always been like kind of interested in.
Yeah,
but I've never seen like a good, other than like arcade one-ups like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles ones that they had. That was the only one I was ever interested in. I could never buy it, never could find it. But now if you're going to actually do like vertical screens like you're supposed to for actual, actual arcade style games, then you got my attention. So that I've heard of the Tempest one, and supposedly like everybody says it looks awesome. So I hadn't seen it yet. I don't know exactly what it looks like the form factor anyway. Does it look like an actual Tempest? Or is
I think it does.
it looks exactly like
the Tempest.
Yeah,
does look
100%.
good.
okay?
Yeah.
Then I would definitely be interested in that.
MG, you're probably confused. We're talking about an 8-inch screen, not like the 3-inch or 2-inch screen that's on the replicate cabs. So you're probably a little bit confused.
I mean, I did buy my mom the Class of '81 countercade for Christmas, and she still to this day plays it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bill, what about you? You ever delve into the countercade world? Anything you're interested in?
So I don't own any of like the arcade one-up countercades. I've got a couple of the partycades, which I really like, but those are a lot bigger. The screen size is, comparable to, regular arcade one-up. Of the ones we've seen, I really do like the Tempest one. I think the Tempest one looks really cool.
Yeah.
For sure. So that would be one. I remember when we got a glimpse of one that Arcade One Up was supposed to come out with and never did. And I always thought that looked really cool. So I'm psyched to see somebody pick that up and actually do it. Hopefully we will see this one come out. I'd be curious to see what other games they put on there, because I think it's just got the trackball and not the trackball, the spinner and buttons, no trackball or anything. So maybe they'll put like a breakout game on there or something. I don't know. Although breakout is normally, I think, a horizontal screen, not a vertical screen. But even if it's just the one game, I still think it would be pretty cool.
Oh, it'll be more than one game. I assume that look at the Pong Arcade 1-Up lineup. That'll give you some ideas for what they can put on there.
Yeah.
What about you, Sheldon? What are you thinking?
I like the Tempest one. I know like the Numbskull and also 2 New Wave toys. Like I always liked the way that they looked, but I always hated like you can't really play on them very much. So I think the Tempest is like the best of both worlds because it looks a lot like a Tempest, and I could actually play on it. But I'm saving a lot of space too. So I think if I would get any of them, it'd probably be the Tempest.
I am all in on Centipede. Mystery Encoder, have you ever done anything with countercades? This is a product you're interested in.
Never. We've never touched them at all.
Never touched them at all.
Nope.
Was it just because you didn't like the size, form factor, or didn't like the modding possibilities?
Did you just do USB stick things?
You didn't know about the mod that we released one?
I'm not a
know about
modder. I don't know.
I'm like, wait a
everything.
minute, yes, you did.
We released like it wasn't really Batacera, but it looked like Batacera for like at least 3 or 4 of the arcade 1-Up countercades. So it's something I might look at. I'm not a fan of them personally for my home arcade though. I don't like the form factor. I like the 3/4 scales, and I have those all. So even the one that I modded, I just gave to my niece.
Yeah, that's the struggle with it. Like when I had the Miss Pac-Man, I just put it in my daughter's room, and she didn't she wasn't ready to really have something like that. Like it was still $150 Canadian, and like she had like candle wax on it and stuff. She just wasn't appreciative of it. So later on, I bought her like a My Arcade Miss Pac-Man, and now she treats that a lot better. But those things were just a little bit out of her realm. So I was like, yeah, I'm just going to sell this countercade because I needed money at the time. But after getting the alphas, it got me a lot more interested in it because I had a lot of fun with my Street Fighter alphas. So that also brought me in. And for me, it's Centipede with the right form factor, with the right screen. If I don't get anything else in the countercade series, I'm probably going to get that Centipede just because I don't know if anybody else will ever make another Centipede with a vertical screen. So it's probably my best shot, and I'm fine with, just throwing it on a bar table down in my arcade and playing some Centipede from time to time. I did want to bring this up. James was supposed to join us tonight as well, but unfortunately, James has a really bad headache, and all of a sudden he says he can't take Tylenol anymore. I don't know what that's about.
Is he pregnant?
Maybe. One of his 15 wives definitely is.
The only countercade I was a fan of, I think either you or P-Dubs reviewed, was the Pong ones are pretty cool. Those tabletop Pong ones where you can play on each side. Those are pretty cool.
Yeah,
I think that's a cool idea for a countercade.
Oh yeah, you did change rubber bands in your joystick.
Yes, so I don't know if people understand this, but I don't script anything I do. Like when I'm doing a news video, I just say it off the top of my head. And I mistakenly said rubber bands one time when I was talking about springs. And for some reason, most people would be like, oh, he just misspoke. Some people are crazy and they want to try to make a big thing about it.
I remember this. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the biggest deal of the home arcade that week.
Whatever.
Bill would shut up about it.
Bill, how dare you? How dare you,
You
sir?
made so many videos on that. I was like, dang, Bill.
I wouldn't know anything about it because I've never misspoken in any of my videos, not even once.
Everybody misspeaks. Everybody. Mostly me, but everybody.
I've done it more times than I can count.
Yeah. Oh my God, I've done it so much. Like people like will fixate on something like the smallest detail. They're like, actually, every video, right?
Oh,
Is your arcade
Like that one douchebag that kept going around saying Code Mystics isn't involved in the emulation of things. Had to correct everybody. Had to yell at Bill the entire stream.
So
James was the best on that one. He wasn't even reading your comment.
So
It was James.
All right, we're gonna get back on track. Some decorum here, people. Decorum. Let's get back on track. WrestleFest was the one with the most news that probably came out last week. That's the game we're the most excited for. So let me bring up some pictures here for you guys that I've saved over the course of the past week. So this is probably the most exciting one that shows almost the full lineup. The other thing that was a little disappointing for WrestleFest this past week is we actually did find out, because the ad is actually up for this now, the posting, but the little tiny handheld, I did a video about it. In Canada, they had advertised the, normal basic fun arcade classic. Like, it's there in the video. You can see it right there over in the corner right here. Let me put my mouse where you can see it over here. They advertised that was actually going to be WrestleFest, but they pulled the classic basic fun, and this is actually now going to be the Acclaim console games. That's actually what's on this. So you remember WrestleMania, WrestleMania Challenge,
Steel Cage Challenge.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's actually going to be 8-bit Nintendo games on this. I mean, couldn't you at least put Royal Rumble and like WWF Raw on it? Like, what are you doing here, guys? Jesus Christ. So that was super disappointing. But, we got our look at the WrestleFest Ultra. We got the games lineup. We got all that information. Then, of course, we got our look at the Supreme Cab. Lots of official images came out. But the big takeaway, which we did find out from this past week, is unfortunately, WrestleFest is in fact going to be flawed. So let me take this down. I'll bring up another image, because we did find out that unfortunately, I'll make this a little bit smaller because I don't have my screen split tonight. So unfortunately, there are going to be 3 specific wrestlers missing from the game. And oh, no, that's a different one. But this was actually in another YouTuber's video. I won't say his name because he's a bit of a narcissist and he'll get really excited about it and tell everybody how well his video is doing. But another YouTuber actually reached out to Basic Fun and actually got some confirmation. We talked about that earlier, the 9 and the 12, but we did find out specifically that, unfortunately, Sergeant Slaughter, as well as the Legion of Doom, aren't going to be in the game. Now, for me, it's a massive deal for a couple reasons. Obviously, it's not authentic. That's going to bother me. And then it actually impacts the game. This is one of the first times, like in NBA Jam, they're like, oh, what's the big deal? They're missing players. They just did blank players. They didn't have to change the game. I mean, they're actually going to have to completely recode this game because they're going to put in new people. It's not going to be just like a swap, a graphic swap. They actually said, we're not going to put in generic people. We're going to replace them with other superstars. So they actually have to change their move sets. They're going to have to change other things. How big of a deal is it that, there's going to be wrestlers missing, specifically these wrestlers? We'll start with you, Bill. What do you think?
Well, I'm probably going to be, the odd man out here because I'm not a huge wrestling fan. I don't have a ton of nostalgia for this particular game, but I've said this before in the past. Even if you're not a wrestling fan, if you grew up during this time, you knew who these people were. You knew who Sergeant Slaughter was. You knew who Legion of Doom or the Road Warriors were. You knew who all they were. And my understanding with this game is that the Legion of Doom are basically like the end bosses for at least
correct.
One part of the game.
Yeah.
So to me,
it's not one part of the game. It's the main so part much of the game. The whole game is about the Legion of Doom.
Yeah. Okay. So to me, that is obviously, like you said, that's a big deal. It's like, you take, M. Bison or whatever out of like Street Fighter 2. It's not the same game, So it really does depend on who they are going to swap it out with, and are people going to be excited for those particular ones. But I got to say, I would think those who grew up with this game, who really loved this game, who wanted WrestleFest, have to be disappointed that, especially those 2 characters aren't it. Sergeant Slaughter. I'm a big fan of Sergeant Slaughter. I like I said, I loved him from like G.I. Joe more than wrestling, probably. But him not being in it, I think you can kind of get away with because he's just another player character. It's the Legion of Doom that's probably the bigger issue here.
All right, so Brian, what do you think?
So in Superstars, the main goal of Superstars is to defeat what is it, $1 Million Man Andre the Giant.
The Mega Bucks. Yeah.
Correct. In WrestleFest, the main goal of the story mode is to defeat LOD, Legion of Doom. It completely changes the game if you're going to swap characters out. Like, so are you telling me that now I'm going to have to face the Heart Foundation and defeat them? You remember when Arcade 1-Up even said that they were never going to release this because, what was it? Demolition at the time was the hold up. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Now it's no longer the hold up. Now you're telling me LOD and Sergeant Slaughter are the hold up. It doesn't make any sense, man. But I was super excited about this, especially the 4-player one, because that was the most accurate one I remember from my childhood at local arcades. So I was super excited about that. But when you do this, you're changing the whole game. It doesn't speak nostalgic to me anymore. Now it's a whole different game now. Like, are they gonna do cutscenes now with the Heart Foundation talking? I mean, that was iconic for LOD to do their spat with Mean Gene, in the track mode. So, are you gonna have the Heart Foundation do it now? And how are you gonna pull that off?
It's a lot of work. Gallagher guy, have we asked you yet?
No. Hopefully, people are saying I'm out of sync with my microphone, so hopefully that's not the case anymore. But sorry if it is. But for me, I'm not really much of a WrestleFest. I don't have much nostalgia for it personally. But I could imagine if they said they redid Mario and said, well, we couldn't get Bowser, so we got Donkey Kong coming in. Yeah.
Super Mario Brothers 2.
Yeah. And it's just like, what? Like, the whole point is to defeat Bowser. That's the whole point of the game. So I could see why a lot of people are upset that, they're not getting, their final boss, basically.
Yeah. Gamer Fridge.
Well, honestly, I get it that they're not the final boss isn't there. How they handle it, I think, is really going to determine how people like it. I mean, you still get superstars, right? That's still going to be fully intact, and I enjoy superstars. I like that version. I think WrestleFest, when that came out, for me, that was in a much larger screen too. I think that thing used to be like huge.
Yeah, it was 26.
Yeah, it was like huge. Yeah. I remember when that thing came out, and I was just like, "Whoa, this is." I remember the first game, but that thing came out, it was just like in your face. So, yeah, that's a hard pill to swallow that you ain't gonna got the boss. But if they could, I don't know, have a good replacement, maybe I'd take a look at it. I mean, I have it on my arcade, and I think that was the first thing me and Brian he helped me get that thing on there, and I played all the way through it, and absolutely love that game.
So, Mystery Encoder, I am going to save you for just a minute before I ask you your opinion on this, because you're going to be integral to this part. So for me, this is a major bummer. Like, I was so excited for this cab. And, I saw Garage Gamer kind of giving me the razz earlier there in the chat, because he was saying the question is Mike going to like the side art? I'm going to be honest with you. It's a little tough to swallow with the bezel and the side art change. It's a bit of a bummer. Obviously, with the game not being there, it's also a bit of a bummer. But our buddy Neo here in the chat, you can see it, Neo's Arcade News watermark down there. He got that idea from Big Reese, I guess. But anyways, the thing about this he brings up that is true. I talked about this. I made a video, I think it was 2 years ago, because I knew Arcade 1-Up was sniffing around trying to do this. Mm-hmm. And I knew they were going to have a lot of trouble. At the time, Demolition wasn't signed to WWE. There were questions about Jake the Snake Roberts because he was with AEW. There was also questions about Sergeant Slaughter because he had just signed a new deal with Hasbro to be in G.I. Joe. So you couldn't, cross-pollinate those licensing deals. And then, of course, Legion of Doom just weren't signed with WWE. So it's possible as many as half the roster could be there. But my biggest problem, of course, was honestly the tag team and the whole real mode of this outside of the side game, which is the Royal Rumble, is you fight in the tag team tournament to get to the Legion of Doom. Every single fight, even in the even as much as the game's I don't know what you call it, track mode, revolves around the Legion of Doom. It's such a huge loss to have them removed that I don't know how you do this. So the shitty thing is, if you want a WrestleFest cab, this is probably the only one we're ever going to get. So if you want the cab in your home and it's a display piece and it's exciting, you're going to have to take those concessions because it is what it is. Is it going to be as big of a hit for basic fun without those people? God, no, of course not. But if you want a WrestleFest, this is probably going to be the one opportunity. The good news about this is, and this is why I'm holding Mystery Encoder till last, this is a little bit different than the other arcade one-ups. I've been a little bit nervous to do some of the soft mods and stuff like that because a lot of these games have online modes and stuff like that. And I also thought it was a detriment that WrestleFest wasn't going to have online. This is where I'm feeling a little bit different now. And I'm not telling anybody to go out and buy this full price because this doesn't really make sense. But honestly, I'm kind of okay with getting WrestleFest, even with the art being a little bit different, and just fucking gutting it and putting a pie in it. But hopefully we don't have to do that because I'm going to ask Mystery Encoder this question. Mystery Encoder, do you think it's possible, because people in the community rely on you, and I know you can be grumpy sometimes, but would this be a project you guys would take on knowing that the game has been altered?
I think that's what makes it enticing to me, honestly.
Yeah.
Just being able to do one of those things for the community. That's usually what gets us interested in a cabinet. Otherwise, there's nothing unique about it otherwise, right? Like,
yeah,
you can just put a pie in it if it's just controls and a joystick. So yeah, I think it is something we're interested in, but depends on if they have a USB port or what they do to lock it down and so on.
So Mystery Encoder is interested. I'm still interested. Like, my mind is pissed. Like, I'm upset and like I don't want it because it's not authentic. But I also realize this is probably going to be the only shot at getting one of these recreations. So, worst case scenario, I can get it. And then I've already got a WrestleMania themed cab that hopefully Team Encoder does a mod for. That's a soft mod. If not, I can put a pie in it. And then if I really, really hate it, I can, change out the bezel and maybe change out the side art. But I don't even know if that'd be necessary. I mean, the rest of the art and the marquee and everything looks pretty good. So I'm disappointed, but I think this is one that there could be a workaround with because there's no online. Obviously, if you soft mod it, you're going to fuck up the online. So the fact that there's no online makes this something that's
not true,
interesting.
Mike, because he soft modded the Blitz and you can still do online.
Really?
Yeah, it doesn't touch the online.
Yeah. Again, I'm not a modder.
Yeah,
they don't mess with the arcade one-up stuff. They just add to it.
Yeah, like
Gotcha.
I have my Simpsons, and you can still do online. And he added Turtles and all the other games.
So the online aspect is a lot of why we prefer a soft mod to replacing or gutting with a pie, because you lose all of that functionality one-up gives you, and that's kind of like the purpose of the soft mods.
Yeah,
is to not lose that stuff.
Well,
I
now
think just
calling
hearing
me more intrigued.
I think hearing Michael B say I would just gut it and put a pie on it, like, just sounds like blasphemy coming from his mouth. Like, I've never heard him say that. I'm like, what? Michael B said that?
One game and all. That's it.
I think from a soft modding perspective, one of the difficult things too is going to be the emulation that's used on this is going to be proprietary.
Yeah,
like, that's known. And so it's not going to be as simple as like a ROM swap, right? It depends on how they check that ROM or how the emulation works and whether or not it even be compatible with the original.
So really quickly, I'm doing this from my buddy James. James, no need to zoom in on the two yellow boxes. It's the same yellow boxes that actually should be on the bezel of the screen that are on the control panel that explain the instructions. So no mystery there, or no secret thing there. That's just where they put those. They're supposed to be on the bezel. I don't know why they didn't put them up there. And that was a weird design choice there to put them on the control panel, but c'est la vie. Anyways, go ahead, Mr. Encoder.
I have no nostalgia for WrestleFest, but I actually really like the look of the cabinet itself, too.
It's nice, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is the big...
like?
The 4-player.
Yeah,
the other one's ugly.
Yeah, I like the 4-player.
The big reason why you look back to the Retromania cab, this is reminiscent of Retromania, because Retromania Wrestling is basically a knockoff of WrestleFest. That's the idea. It's inspired by. So even when they did the iArcade cab, the iArcade cab's artwork was still inspired by the WrestleFest cab. It's, for me, this was one of my top arcades I always dreamed about having in my house. So this is why this is so conflicting for me. We're missing characters. I also do want to talk about the development team, because they sent P-Dubs a message in his video. So everybody go check out P-Dubs' video. He wants it to beat my He-Man video, so he really needs the help. So in P-Dubs' video on this, talking about the rosters, they talked about it. They're huge fans of the game. They wanted to do it right, so they said there will be a final fight, and you are going to go up to somebody. And, I got the impression they were going to be replacing the characters. So that's where the double down comes in. So very quickly, we're going to shift gears. We're going to do this later, but let's do it now. It's time for the double down. Man, that's so offensive. I love it. Love it. All right, guys. So here's the thing. It's a possibility we're going to lose Slaughter. We know that. We're going to lose Legion of Doom. We know that now. That's officially confirmed. Do you think they're just going to go with 9 characters, or do you think they're going to add somebody in? What's your take on that? Jay, I'll go with you first.
Yeah, they're going to add somebody. I don't know who. I don't know if they're going to take like 2 of the existing characters and make them a generic tag team, but I would hope they would add, if they're going to spend the time to recreate the intro and the cut scenes and everything, they're going to have to come up with something, I don't know, maybe Razor Ramon and Diesel, or whatever they, like the Outsiders or something like that, something crazy.
So you're of the mind that they should kind of do what they did with WrestleFest when they released on an Xbox 360 a couple of years ago. Just replace it with good wrestlers, not specifically people from that period.
Yeah, why not?
All right, I disagree. Sheldon?
It's wrestling. Who cares? John Cena, put him in there.
Oh, no. It's a horrible game.
My question is, what do they do with like the NBA Jam? What do they do with those players? Whatever they couldn't get licensing, do they replace them, or do they just not have
bench
them on
players? They put bench players in.
So in both Blitz and I'm trying to remember Blitz. I can't confirm this, but I know with NBA Jam, they just kind of grade the player out and then did double rosters. That's what they did with those. That's easier to do in a sports game because there's so many characters and it's so easy to do with that. Mm-hmm. But with wrestling, you're talking about 12 characters with very specific moves, very specific looks, feels, and especially when they're in the, fucking track mode and they're in the storyline progression, it's really hard to do.
To me, I feel like I honestly feel like they're going to make just generic characters that have the same type of look but look a little bit different. That's why I feel that maybe they'll go about it. Hopefully it's not that, but that's what I can kind of see it going. Like, oh, hey, it's the same color or same character, but now they're in red or whatever
bulldozers.
It is. Yeah, they're just like differently named. It's kind of just like these generic wrestlers that you fight. That's what I feel like it's going to be because I feel like if they didn't spend the money to get the current ones, why would they spend money to get licensing for other people? They would just be like, let's just make them generic and people will be okay with it. That's the way I kind of feel about it.
William, your feelings?
Well, again, I'm not up on all the wrestlers and especially who's even part of WWE at this point to know all the different ones. I know people have talked. I know I've heard people say like the Undertaker might be a good one, maybe a replacement for Sergeant Slaughter. Honestly, if I remember correctly, I do think when P-Dubs reached out that they said that they weren't going to just do generic characters. So it wasn't going to be, they weren't going to just put, palette swaps on them, call them something different or whatever. So I think they might just leave it as the 9 and like people are saying maybe Demolition, maybe that's the end boss and whatever, and maybe they don't put anything new in.
Yeah, that is definitely one way to go. It's the crappy version of Demolition, which is the only sad thing because it's not Axe and Smash. At that period, Bill Eadie, who played Axe, was a little bit older, so he wasn't wrestling as much. So they brought in Crush at the time, who eventually became like Kona Crush, Brian Adams of Chronic. So that's the only sad thing. But they could definitely. It's a pretty easy swap to do Demolition.
Yeah,
Going for the tag team titles as opposed to Legion of Doom. I mean, I wouldn't have as much of an issue with that. I'd be totally fine. So yeah, I agree. That's probably a way to go, and I think a lot of people are smart to suggest that. Chaotic, what are your thoughts, my man? I see you got superstars going in the background there. We can see the Mega Bucks with Virgil talking to Mean Gene.
Yep. So has it been confirmed that they are adding different characters in, or is it just still speculative?
We don't
they
know.
said they weren't adding
Speculation.
generic characters.
That's the
Right,
only
right,
thing we
so-
know. Not generic,
Okay.
but there will be a championship match at the end. The only thing that weirds me out, I'll throw this out there as well. If you're going to add extra people, why not throw them into the artwork on the side of the cab and the bezel?
Right.
Just modify the bezel to include the extra characters.
That's what I was about to get into. So my thing is that if they're not adding any extra characters to the bezel, side art, any kind of promotional material whatsoever, it makes me think that they're just going to knock this down to 9 characters. When you face the Demolition, the screen is not going to show a cutscene for LOD. They're going to delete that cutscene. They're going to delete that all the kind of stuff that shows LOD. And basically, when you beat Demolition, you win the titles. That's it. And they're just going to.
Oh, so you think
on
they're gonna
Cut
cheat
it,
it?
yeah.
Yeah, I think
they're just gonna cheap it.
Yeah, and just delete these cutscenes and these characters completely out.
And
I
maybe
don't
put
think-
like a countdown, like they do. They smash it and they have the countdown, and probably just put a still screen there instead.
I don't think they would do that. I'm going to ask my buddy Mystery Encoder here. Mystery Encoder, is it possible that they would just cut that stuff, go cheap? I heard a rumor that Basic Fun was doing the emulation for this, so that can't be true, could it?
Oh, you mean Code Mystics?
Cold Mist.
Oh yeah, Code Mystics. Sorry, Code Mystics.
Way to screw up the punchline there, Mike.
I try my best. So it was heavily rumored that Code Mystics were doing this, but Mystery Encoder actually brought this to my attention. I thought this was just his behind-the-scenes knowledge, but I'm sure you have contact with him anyways. Do you want to kind of lay this out for us?
I don't have contact with them, but they commented on P-Dub's video saying that they're not involved.
You weren't confused when they said you've heard the rumors that Code Mystics is working on this game
I
for
was a little
Basic
bit
Fun?
confused by it because I heard rumors that it was somebody else that's done. They've done actually a lot of emulation for Arcade 1-Up as well, but I think that behind the scenes, people that created this rumor often confuse that person with being a Code Mystics employee when they're a contractor that works with them sometimes.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you. So this was actually a response to P-Dub's video. Code Mystics did identify they're actually not working on Basic Fun's WrestleFest at all. So if you guys are relying on that, I wouldn't. I would also, I'm sure it's somebody that works with them, so it's probably going to be good. But for what we're talking about, this is a pretty big modification to the game because you're not just palette swapping these characters like I mentioned earlier. You got to put in brand new move sets. You possibly have to do new animations to lead up to that. Basically they have to rewrite like 25% of the game to make this work.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah,
Mhm.
the guy writing the emulator for this though, he's fairly capable.
I just don't see
don't
them
see it
putting
being a problem.
sharpshooters and the double team moves for the Heart Foundation or the Tombstone Pile Driver into the game.
Here's a funny thing. Going back to Jay's comment from earlier, they could put WWE Hall of Famers in it, and you know who is a WWE Hall of Famer? Number
Trump,
47, the president.
That's true. Could
Joe
happen.
Cade. Joe Cade, you're joining us, but you're sideways, my man. What's going on?
How about now?
There you go.
There you go. Thanks for coming on, brother.
Thanks for having me, Mike. What's
Apparently,
up, everybody?
you're a wild man.
Let me slap that bald head again.
You know, you would agree that if you're with your friends or if you're at work or if you're at a funeral, church, you act differently, right?
Yeah.
They saw me entering a top 5 arcade of
No,
all time. But they see
we
one
heard
side of
you.
me.
We heard
We
you.
heard you.
We didn't see,
didn't
you
see
at all.
Now I've got moniker that I'm nuts. Sad.
No, it was
It's-
great meeting you, man. It was
It's
awesome.
good to be nuts. Thanks so much for coming on, Joe K. Joe was nervous earlier because he was like, I don't have all my fancy stuff. And I was like, oh, thanks for saying that. I don't care. So thanks for coming on, brother.
Thanks for having me, buddy.
All right. I will.
No, just watch out for that wild moniker. It seems to follow you around wherever you go.
Easy now, Bill. You've had a couple other monikers you don't want out there.
He's professional. He's professional, Bill.
So I will tell you a little bit behind the scenes. When John D was still with Arcade 1-Up, John D was very heavily pushing for Arcade 1-Up to do WrestleFest. I don't know if he's involved in Basic Fun, but let me take some of the ideas he mentioned to me forward and maybe apply them to Basic Fun. So when John D was doing this, the idea at the time is they knew they were going to be short some wrestlers. So they had talked about doing replacements. John had also talked about possibly doing some DLC characters. Of course, there's no Wi-Fi in this cab, so it's not going to be a possibility for this. But he did talk about specific replacements. One of the ideas for replacing the Legion of Doom, I don't know why John thought this was a good idea, was to do a tag team of The Undertaker and Papa Shango, which, in my opinion, is awful. What an awful idea.
Terrible.
I don't even know who that is.
But-
Yeah, it sounds terrible.
I think the big idea that John put forward, and I think, you talked about it a little bit earlier here, Brian, was to replace the Legion of Doom with the Hart Foundation. Because if you go back to that time period, WrestleMania 7, the Harts were the champions going into WrestleMania 7 because they were leading up to their showcase with the Legion of Doom. The funny thing about WrestleFest is so wrong because Legion of Doom, of course, came into WWE and they became one of the most over face tag teams of all time. And there's a backstory to this that Vince McMahon actually wanted them to come in as heels. And he told that to the Legion of Doom and said, you guys are coming in as bad guys. And they were like, yeah, we're the Road Warriors. We're pretty sure people are going to cheer. But he didn't believe it. So he thought they were going to be bad guys. That's why they're illustrated as bad guys in WrestleFest, because the game was done a little bit more ahead of the time. So it doesn't really fit for them to be bad guys, even though they're bad guys in the game. So Hart Foundation were faces. That's one idea. That was John's leading theory. I'd throw out a couple other suggestions. The Nasty Boys actually beat the Harts at WrestleMania 7 and were the champions until Legion of Doom dethroned them. So the Nasty Boys, not an awesome choice, but as characters for that like information package interviewing Mean Gene, maybe have a Jim and Hart there for the background interview. I think that could be a good choice too. So could be the Nasty Boys.
What about the Mounties?
The Quebecers, they came in a little bit later. They were closer to
like
WrestleMania
93.
9. Yeah. Closer to WrestleMania 9. So I would suggest you could do the Nasty Boys. You could do the Nasty Boys. You could do the Hart Foundation. Another suggestion, I don't know if it would be 100% possible, but Andre is already going to be in Superstars. You could do who Demolition beat for the titles at WrestleMania 6, which was the Colossal Connection, which is Andre the Giant and Haku. So that's another option. I know some people talked about IRS coming in and being like Bunny Inc., but that was much later on.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Bushwhackers. We need the bushwhackers.
The Bushwhackers were there. Rockers would be a good choice as well. But I think if it goes back to John's plan, it was the plan, the Hart Foundation. That was the team you were going up against. So that's my guess. I think it's going to be the Harts who we're going to have to try to take the titles from if there's a replacement. Then the question is, who do you replace Slaughter with? And I think the leading theory for some reason, is The Undertaker, which I think is an excellent suggestion. He was just coming on at the time. As long as they do him with classic graphics, I think he'd be an excellent addition.
You gotta have the purple gloves.
Yeah.
Now, is that rumor based off of that advertisement from the Australian posting? Where
There's part of it, but again, going back to John D and the time when he was with Arcade One Up trying to make this happen, The Undertaker was one of the other big names he was really pushing for. He originally wanted to do the tag team of The Undertaker and Papa Shango. So my guess, if it leads in with good timing and based on what John D had said before, if he ever worked on this at all, my guess is Heart Foundation and The Undertaker.
Yeah.
Safe
Zero
bet.
Redux said King Kong Bundy. Just take Andre the Giant Sprite and shave his head.
King Kong Bundy is not under a WWE Legends contract, and I actually heard a really interesting story about this past week. Why? Do you want to hear it?
Yeah.
Spill the beans.
Yeah.
So
No. Don't tell us. We don't care.
So years ago, when CM Punk was taking on The Undertaker, they were bringing back all these Undertaker former rivalries. And I'm trying to remember who the road agent was now. I can't remember exactly who it was. I think it might have been Tommy Dreamer for some reason. Yeah, Tommy Dreamer. So they were talking about guys they could bring back. Like they brought back Papa Shango and all these other former rivals of The Undertaker. And Tommy Dreamer mentioned, let's bring back King Kong Bundy. So they were like, yeah, Bundy'd be a great person to bring back. So they actually reached out to Bundy and they said, hey, we'd love to have you come back for a night. And he said, Tommy, I love you, brother, but the only way I would ever come back is if they put the WWF title on me and paid me the money they owed me. Vince McMahon is a piece of shit. He told me for putting over Hogan, he'd put the title on me, and he owes me millions of dollars. So I will not have anything to do with WWF going forward. So King Kong Bundy is not an option.
Okay, then.
Still salty about that one.
Yeah. I would have love for the Conquistadors if they re-released WWF No Mercy and it was an add-in where you could actually do Edge and Christian dressed up as the Conquistadors, because that was one of my favorite angles from the Attitude Era. So anyways, that's my guess. Any other thoughts, guys? Do you think they could possibly do anybody else to add in as replacements?
Yeah, Generation X. Let's put them in there.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan for Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah. Ms. Morrison.
Ms. Morrison. Okay, that's the end of that. We're done with this discussion. Brutus the Barber. Brutus the Barber. That's an option. That's an option. What about Hacksaw? Hacksaw would be a good one. I think
Hacksaw.
a couple names to look at. I would suggest is you look at guys like Hacksaw, Macho Man, that are in Superstars, because I think Superstars has an accurate roster. They've already got the licensing deal, so it wouldn't cost any more money. So it would be very easy to move those superstars from Superstars and put them in WrestleFest. So that's a possibility. Could be Macho. What was the tag team? No, Macho Man was a bad guy at the time, so you can't really do that. You couldn't do the Ultimate Maniacs. Any of those guys could possibly show up also in WrestleFest as well.
Point.
Butterbean, shut up, James.
There we go. That's what I said.
Hacksaw on the Bushwhackers.
There we go. That's gonna be it. Oh, Joe, who do you think?
My head agrees with Mike. I think it's probably going to be The Undertaker, and for the tag teams, the Hart Foundation. My heart would love to see Andre and Haku. You bring up Superstars, palette swap, like Mike said. The sprites are already there, and to substitute out for Sergeant, I would love Hot Rod. He's, in my opinion, the greatest heel of all time. And
Hot Rod would be dope.
I think that could salvage.
Piper.
Yeah, no, that would be.
Yeah,
that I would love that.
So even though this has been a bummer week, getting confirmation the wrestling game won't be the same. Things I walk away from trying to keep in mind. I'm obviously super disappointed. But at the same time, this, if you want a recreation WrestleFest, this is probably as good as we're going to ever get.
Mm-hmm.
And worst case scenario, we've got people out there like Team Encoder might want to take a run at this if they can. And if not, you might look at options just to kind of put your own thing on it. It's a bummer. I never want to have to buy a cab and then invest more money and time to make it right, make it the way I want. But, this is what WrestleFest is, I guess.
Yeah. I'm about the same with you, Mike. I love the way the cab looks, man, other than, some caveats of it, but this is the closest thing we're going to get. It'd be the most interesting one for me that I would want to get. And like you said, I even said it, I think last week, just throw a pie in it if it requires it.
It sucks, but that's what we're dealing with, to tell you the truth.
But we got this guy too.
Yeah, Mystery Encoder, who's going to help us out. You're definitely going to do this one, right, Mystery Encoder?
He fell asleep.
I might have. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see when Jay buys it from Ollie's for me, like he said he would.
I did say that.
Confirmed. It's confirmed.
This is one I would 100% like. I'll buy the cab and I'll do all the stuff on it, and Mystery Encoder will still be like, I'll just work with B. B's great. He takes things to the next level.
If Mike agrees right now that he'll mod this, if I make it possible, then I will absolutely buy one. But Mike has to agree that he's going to do it. And he's
there you go.
Deal.
Be harassed for the rest of YouTube forever.
Deal. I don't know if you know this, but I made a video one time and I told people I was a modding god. So deal. I'll do it.
There we go.
All right. So we got a little bit more information on some other things. The first thing I want to bring up is Centipede. So we got our look at Centipede. We know what it's going to look like. We've seen the box. We've seen all the games lists and all that stuff. The only thing we didn't really know is what the Supreme was going to look like. And then we got a image from the LA Toy Show, and I don't know what to think of this. I'm going to just try to get the image up for you guys. I got to see if I've got it here. I know I do. I just got to find it. Here we go. So I'm going to bring this up on screen. Now I want to ask your guys' opinion on this one because, dear God, let's see if I can do it this way.
Is that bad?
Hold on. No, it's not. It's one of those ones where it's like, oh, that's interesting. So
let me ask too. Like, is this like something that was originally just a mock-up type of thing, or is this like a newer one or an older one?
So
that's kind of what I'm asking. Like,
this is from the LA Toy Fair. But keep in mind that this is not final and not indicative of what the final cab will look like. So this is what they showed off as their Supreme Atari cabinet. And for those of you that are longtime Arcade 1-Up enthusiasts, it's going to look pretty familiar because it looks very similar to what they released years ago with the original Atari 12-in-1 that I think was a Sam's Club exclusive or maybe a Costco exclusive. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, all these guys have one.
Do any of you have the original Atari 12-in-1?
No.
I don't. I only
What's
have
that
the
Costco one
Tempest
you
and
got?
the 50th.
Oh, that was a different one.
Wow.
I apologize, JJ. It's only supposed to be every 30 minutes, so I'm going to have to do something about that because it should not be that way. So anyways, I'm a little disappointed. Obviously, I really want a Centipede. That's why I'm interested in the countercade. I was not in love with the Ultra Series cab they put out because I didn't like the Atari logo at top with the Centipede being pushed down. I was hoping the Supreme was just going to be a really big Centipede where you could play Centipede on it. And even if it was still in the vertical orientation with the 19-inch screen, it'd be a little bit bigger. So seeing this, seeing it be a mishmash collab, this got me a little bummed out. Like, did this lessen or heighten your interest possibly in Basic Fun's Atari Supreme cabinet? Start with you, Brian.
So, considering that I'll see on Facebook Marketplace, I see Centipede cabs everywhere for pretty cheap, like $400, $500. I'd much rather just go with that if I was ever interested in it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I mean, it's not the right size screen. That's always been everybody's complaint, right? It should be vertical. I mean, I don't really care for this kind of stuff anyway. Like, if I would want a centipede cab, I'd just rather just go out and get a used real one.
Yeah.
And refresh it. Because otherwise, I can just play this kind of stuff on my ALU, and I got trackballs and spinners and everything. I love the size of it though, compared to the Turtles cab. Though, holy crap!
Yeah, it's giant. It's giant, and this is, from what I understand, this asteroids form factor. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, looks.
Yeah.
I think that's correct.
William, what do you think, sir?
Yeah, there's a couple of things with this. I would agree. I like the fact that the centipede side art, that it goes all the way up like it's supposed to on it. Not really a big fan of the mishmash. I wish they kept it just centipede or just asteroid. The one thing that really bothers me about this one, and again, we know that, these are early models. These have been around the block for a while with them, bringing these out to multiple shows throughout the year. If you see a picture of the Centipede Ultra and you look at the screen for that, and then you look at the screen for this, even though they're both horizontal, in the Ultra, they show Centipede at least in the right aspect ratio. Here, it's all stretched out. Now, I don't know if that's just because the software's not finalized. Maybe it's an option, a fill the screen option in the software. I don't know. But just seeing it bothers me. If you're going to do this, I would rather at least keep it in the right aspect ratio and not have it all stretched out like that. Well, that's the one thing that really jumps out at me.
That's been one of my biggest problems with the Arcade 1-Up 12-in-1s they've done the last little while, because the Tempest cab, even the Centipede they did, and like even the Atari 40th or 50th, they all kind of were they had Centipede on them, but even though they weren't full screen stretched, they were still stretched. It still looked awkward. I want it in that tight vertical, picture on my screen, or at least give me options to choose what the screen orientation is going to look like. So I did want to bring up, we do have a picture of the Ultra that's a more polished picture, and it does have the right, vertical orientation for it. So hopefully they do that. Sheldon, what do you think, my man? Is this something you would possibly be interested in?
No, not personally. I think that they should have just made this not a Centipede cab. It should have just been an Asteroids cab. If they would have made it 100% an Asteroids cab, I would have, I probably would have bought it, honestly, because I kind of want an Asteroids cab, and it would have been nice to have. It's a good size. But the fact they have this weird mashup, I'm hoping they change the marquee, because the marquee is just weirdly fitted in there. It doesn't quite fill up the whole marquee. So I'm hoping that this is, going to be fixed later. But I just don't get why they needed to put Centipede on it, because it looks like it would be a pretty cool looking Asteroids cab. But if I would get it, I'd have to change the art and the marquee and the bezel, because I would want it just to be an Asteroids cab. So I wish they would just would have done that. Just say, hey, this is our XL Atari cab. And just made it Asteroids, because it looks like a cool Asteroids cab. I don't know. It really bothers me that they did that.
What do you think, Joe?
It's a beautiful cabinet aesthetically. The art, the bezel, the marquee. But I agree with the guys. This is a vertical game, and it's not true to that of the original. Plus, size-wise, at least pictured here next to the Turtles, it looks gargantuan. And this is a separate conversation. I don't want to veer off topic. I mean, I spoke about this at length when I saw Stock Jock and the AA guys in Ohio. The 80s cabinets, you were taller than them. When you stood next to them, you were taller than them. It wasn't until the 90s that they really scaled. So for me, if the 90s was your era, that's the perfect size. For me, that's too big. So probably not.
All right, Mystery Encoder, what do you think of this monstrosity?
It's garbage.
I like it. Nice, succinct, good answer. And Jay, you're last, brother.
Well, thank you. As far as what it looks, like Joe said, it looks pretty big. I don't know it to scale. It looks like it's on like a step too. So I don't know if they're trying to make it look even bigger. But only thing I do like about it, I mean, it looks. I don't know. I've seen cabs like these where they just kind of mesh in real life in actual arcades. Only thing I do like is that a Tempest too. Does it have Tempest on there?
Yeah, it's gonna have Tempest.
So I like the fact that they're taking these games that don't have joysticks and they all made them one cab, because that kind of makes sense to me. You can play some trackball games, like games with buttons, and one with the the spinner. So as far as combining all those three, that kind of makes sense to me, because those are like unique control schemes. So I agree, having Centipede in that wide format, they need to crop that at least and put some bezels on it. So the one positive I would say, I think it's cool. You didn't need three cabs to do those unique form factors. I always look for, if I want to have a dedicated cab, if it has a dedicated control scheme, that's what I look for, like a trackball game or something like that. But as far as what it looks like, it looks butt ugly.
So I'm a big proponent of these cabs. When you're going with the marquee game, make the cab as accurate to the marquee game as possible. So if you are going to go with horizontal screen, maybe this should have just been an Asteroids cab, and then the rest of the games come on it. That's what I would say. The one thing I do want to say on this, we've noticed a lot of commentary in the last little while. Some of it coming from John D directly, actually saying these are not final products. So while this definitely stinks of Think Up, and we know several former Think Up employees are there, they did the original 12-in-1, I'm still holding out hope that this is not a final product and this is just a demo. So I know James Hates Everything saw some other stuff, and he said that the artwork on Centipede was closer to the original than the Ultra. So I'm hoping this isn't what we're going to get. I'm still holding out hope for Centipede XL, because if they do a Centipede XL and make the artwork a little bit more realistic to what the actual artwork should be, I would be 100% all in on this. So let me see if I can. I'm just going to take this one off. I've never used the picture option before. The picture option is much better than sharing like a screen. So I'm going to share up another image file here now. I got to find the right one. So here is the actual.
Yes, I had a question. Yeah.
There's the Centipede
better.
Ultra. This looks a lot better. Obviously, I don't love what Basic Fun is doing. They're moving the artwork down to the bottom of the cab and then putting crap, like just leaving this empty or putting Atari there. I much would have preferred, obviously, if this logo, if this is the...
And it has a joystick, too.
Yeah, well, I'm not 100% sure, because...
console games. It's going to be like the Atari 50th, supposedly.
We've seen the box on this, and it doesn't really mention any console games, because the Ultra does have like the 12 games listed. But I would assume that this is going to be like Atari 50th and a bunch of console games on it as well. I hate that control stick. That looks so ugly.
Pop it off.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about
rip
that.
It right off. Rip it right off. Just cover it up.
But also, what's weird is that this doesn't have a spinner on it, and supposedly is also supposed to have, Tempest and Breakout. So I don't know why it doesn't have a spinner.
Again, these are from the LA Toy Show, not final images, so
right,
we don't know. I love this cab. I would have bought the arcade one up, Centipede cab a couple of years ago if it didn't have that terrible screen. Even though, again, Centipede's fucked up on it. I just think Centipede is one of the nicest looking arcades of all time. So I mean, if they did this, and they were able to, just make it look good, I would be all about it in this in a Supreme. So you can move the logo up, make a little bit more room there, have the Centipede look more accurate. Even if you've got a 19-inch horizontal screen, as long as it's in the right aspect ratio. I don't know how the conversion works out to that, but at least with 19 inches, this would look bigger on it. And if I had a really good looking Centipede cab, I would be all over it. So I think where I stand with this one is I'm going to take what people are saying about that monstrosity 12-in-1 and say that's not a final product. And I'm still going to hold out hope that they're going to do a proper Centipede. And if not a proper Centipede, just doing asteroids. Like, just don't do that conglomeration. I prefer arcade accurate. I don't know. Some of you guys may feel differently, but I just think what they did looks really ugly.
Yeah, I wish that they would, because on Centipede having the trackball in the middle makes total sense because that's the main game, and the other games are just kind of added on to it. But whenever you go to like an Asteroids game, and you have those the 4 buttons beside the ball, it kind of throws you off when you're playing Asteroids. I don't know what it is about it, but like them being that far apart just throws me. So I wish they would make an Asteroids cab with the ball like kind of on the side of the 4 buttons closer together, so you can kind of make it work. But this one, I don't know what it is about playing Asteroids. So I really hope that they make an Asteroids cab with that being on the side kind of thing. And that joystick, I hate that joystick there. Like, absolutely. Whenever I've been looking for Centipede before I got mine, those were everywhere. So they'd have a trackball and this joystick, and it just was like one of my ticks of like, why is that there? It looks so stupid. So to see this, I'm like, why is this here? It just it's one of my pet peeves. I hated whenever I saw that.
Now, guys, just give me 1 second because I'm trying to make sure I have everything up here. And I added the wrong image twice. So let me just 1 minute. Talk amongst yourselves. Share some interesting anecdotes while I try to figure out how to actually operate my life. Come on, I know it's here somewhere, you son of a bitch.
So, Bill, how does it feel to reconnect with your son?
I'm leaving.
Oh my god. And the funny thing is, I have 2 daughters in real life and have never had a son, so it feels wonderful.
All right, before we go any further, I did want to bring this one up. This is images from the Toy Fair. We haven't got confirmation that this is coming out. In fact, I would say definitively this is not going to come out in Wave 1. Wave 1 looks like it's going to be Return of the Jedi, the Centipede cab or Atari cab, and WrestleFest. It's just going to be those 3 cabs, but we know this one's coming. What do you guys think of the Turtles and Turtles? And I'm pretty sure this is the Ultra cab, but we also saw some box art for a Slim cab. I mean, I was hoping they would go back to the original arcade artwork. I think this looks pretty nice. Again, similar problems to the other cabs. The artwork is too low on the side, and it's not placed in the right place. But other than that, I think Turtles looks pretty cool. I mean, for people saying, oh, it's not going to have the arcade games, I think we can get past that. I think we're pretty sure it's going to have the other arcade games. Plus, it's going to have some console games, which, who gives a shit? But at the same time, a lot of people were hoping for Cowabunga Collection, and you kind of have that. So let's start with, this time, Joe-Cade. What do you think of the Turtles cab that we saw from Basic Fun?
I like it. I mean, you could be nitpicky and, analyze the kick plate, say there should be rather a coin door, but Turtles was an arcade cabinet that I wanted from A1U, but I didn't get it because of the wings. It just didn't mesh well next to my other cabs. So the fact that I don't have to deal with that is awesome. Side art looks good. I can't really tell how bright the marquee is. But yeah, I mean, we live in a binary thing of it's great or it sucks. And this is above average to me. This is a B-, B+. I like it.
Jay, what do you think?
It's okay. I mean, I think I like the arcade 1-up better, but I mean the original without the Wi-Fi and stuff. The fact that it doesn't have Wi-Fi and you can't play other people, I mean that's a negative to me. But like you said, having the console games, I mean, half the time when we play Turtles, I don't know, growing up, it was on a console, so I think they translate well. It would be really cool to see Shredder's Revenge cab if they ever do that. Somebody ever do that, I would buy that in a heartbeat. But it looks okay. If you want a 2-player Turtles, this is probably a good choice.
Sheldon, my man, what do you think?
I don't know. It's I mean, if you're someone who wanted a Turtles cab and you don't have much room, this is a great option for you. So that's my positive take on it. I know this is a prototype, at least we're assuming, but things like the Turtles being like off center at the bottom of the deck was like that gave me a little twitch. But and the side artwork being lower, that gave me a little twitch too. But I mean, overall, if I was someone like, hey, I want a Turtles cab, but I don't have much room, and this is something that they could offer. Yeah, sure, but I'm not really interested in it at all. I think it looks like a midway cab to me more than anything. And the fact that this is supposed to be like a display where they're like, oh, hey, we're really promoting our product, and like it looks like it's all banged up. Like I'm just like, why are you putting this out here, not fixing some of the stuff? Get a Sharpie out and like just like fill those in real quick, dude. Like, well, I don't know why they.
Sure.
So Sand Spirits mentioned he was like, "What's the deal with the splooge stain on the front there?"
yeah. Like, I think the product, like, do something about it. Like, I don't know.
I think Jason made some really good points here. The art is really fucked up on this, like really bad in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Like Basic Fun, whoever the designer is, this concept of moving the art down to the bottom is just a horrible idea. I guess I would understand on the slim cabs because they are still doing a slim series, which we haven't really seen a lot about yet. But I mean, if these are the same dimensions as Arcade 1-Up, you got to move that art up. This is not it, Chief. And I mean, like the changes to the control panel with the Turtles. I for all people saying this is a 4-player game, you got to remember this is the Ultra line, and they've already committed that when they do the Ultra, there are going to be 2-player decks instead of 4-player decks. Same with WrestleFest. So, no Supreme seen on this yet. Lots of issues. I didn't get through everybody. Bill, ask you next. Sorry.
Yeah. So, of all the cabs, Turtles is probably the one that I'm most interested in getting at some point, but I don't know if this is it. I 100% agree on the artwork on it. They need to fix that. For those who are complaining about, it's this 4 Turtles as a 4-player game, people do have to remember too, these cabs did actually come in 2-player versions. There are 2-player versions of the arcade ROMs out there.
Yep, there is.
So they can definitely do it that way for this. I don't know that I'm a big fan of the console games being on here, at least, especially not the console games they're using. I love Tournament Fighter. Tournament Fighter is one of my favorite Ninja Turtles games from back in like the SNES days. I was hoping if they were going to put Tournament Fighter on a cab that it would be that version, but the fact that this is just, a 2-button cab and whatever, along with all the other games, leads me to believe, and I know other people who said it too, that these are probably all NES ROMs.
Yeah.
That none of these are going to be the 16-bit versions. That makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
There's most of the games that are on here have 16-bit versions of them as well.
Not most of them. Tournament Fighters.
Tournament Fighters, obviously the arcade game. I believe didn't they do the arcade game on the 16-bit consoles too, or was it just
so there's 2 versions of Turtles in Time done for 16-bit. There's the Super Nintendo one, which is more faithful to the original arcade, but added, like, changed out characters, added a couple things, added that Technodrome stage where you threw the guy at Shredder. But the Sega Genesis version is actually Turtles in Time, but it's called Hyperstone Heist. They made a lot of alterations to that, including a new level where you fought. Is his name Tensai from the movies? You actually fight Tensai in one stage.
Yeah.
So, but it is Turtles in Time. For me, I would have liked to see those.
Yeah, they could have added those to this as well. Have both of those, so at least it would be like better versions of the games, closer to the arcade, but still a little different that people might find them interesting. 100% agree. I would love to see if they could have done it, put Shredder's Revenge on this. Even if you've got to add buttons for some of those games.
I don't know. I don't know about Shredder's Revenge. You're getting into wacky territory there because you've got a 4x3 oriented screen. You've got small buttons instead of an 8-button configuration.
That's a good point.
To add all that for one game, that's kind of rough, right?
Yeah, that's a fair point. It's a fair point with that. But yeah, but I mean, honestly, if they changed the artwork on this and just gave me the 2 arcade games, I'd be fine. I'd be fine with it, and I'd be happy to pick this up because I never got the A1-up version.
I had the arcade 1-up version, and it still guts me that I sold it. But I was saying like, oh, they're going to come out with an XL eventually. It's going to be a 4-player XL with the original art, which then of course they never did, and I was absolutely effed in the B, and I wasn't going to get a Turtles in Time cap. Brian, what do you think, my man?
Yeah, go on, Mike. You just took the words right out of my mouth. So one of my biggest regrets ever, it was selling my original TMNT arcade 1-up with the original artwork. It was my first ever arcade 1-up cab I ever bought, and my biggest regret was selling it. Yeah. But in the back of my mind, I was also understood from rumors that they were going to come out with an XL version. It was going to be a 4-player version, and I was like, and it's going to have the original art. It was going to be online like the Turtles in Time cab was, and I wasn't going to buy that Turtles in Time cab. I just thought it was disgusting. So I really wanted this original art. So seeing this made me excited, especially being that it's a 2-player. I'm totally cool with that. I'm also cool with it adding additional games to it because it's Turtles. Add more Turtles games and it fits the theming of the cabinet. I'm cool with that. I don't like the side art being pushed down to the bottom, like you said.
It's a pain in the ass, right?
Yeah. So, and I was like, you know what? Fine. I'll just go on for Facebook Marketplace and I'll buy that original cab again. I can't find one less than $500, and they're all torn to shreds, look like shit.
Yeah.
But they're no less than $500, and it really hurts, man. So this may be the best I can get. I would hope for them to bring out what's called a Supreme series that's full size XL. I would like to have that if it's possible.
Yeah, I think if they come out with a Supreme Turtles eventually and it's available in Canada, that's an easy one for me. As long as they move the artwork up a little bit, I'd be all in on this. Another thing I don't like about the Ultra Cabs, I think taking off the coin door and taking off the grill covers that we're used to getting from Arcade 1-Up on the deluxe cabs, and then still charging the same price, which I'll confirm in just a minute. That seems like a real cheap move on their part. Like, to me, that it's like we're buying lower quality Arcade 1-Ups here. Does anybody else feel the same way?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. 100%. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mr. Encoder, anything you want to add on Turtles?
I don't like the form factor. I'd prefer 4-player.
Yeah, I would prefer 4-player as well. And James keeps bringing up the fact that this is not a midway cab shape.
Okay.
I would like it to be more of a midway cab shape, but to me, this looks very similar to what they did with MK. I don't know how much different you want to get with it.
So they have a Slim Katie, then they have this version, then they have an XL version. Is that what I'm hearing?
We don't know about the XL. We know they have an Ultra, and we know they have a Slim.
I do wonder if they're not doing a 4-player because of the fact that they think the Arcade 1-Up one's already out there. So by making this, they tap a different market.
I
the
think
good news with the Slim Katie is we know at least one person in the community likes it.
The person's kind of an idiot.
That person will definitely buy it too.
Yeah. Home Arcade is back.
I don't know. He's a side art snob too, so I don't know.
Oh, come on, Jay. Come on. All right. So I'm going to bring this up now. This is last but not least. We got to talk about Return of the Jedi. This one seems to be, really the thing that's pushing most people one way or another. Like, there's a lot of people that are like, yeah, I'm fine with it. A lot of people really hate it. For me, I just didn't understand. Why not just do fucking Star Wars again? Star Wars is such an iconic cab. The Arcade 1-Up one was beautiful. My dream was to have an XL version of the Arcade 1-Up Star Wars. So, they said they were doing Return of the Jedi, and I was like, well, I got to see how it looks because it's such a unique cabinet when you see the actual Atari one. And the question is, do you think they've done a good representation of it here with whatever the fuck this is? So we'll start with you, Brian.
I mean, I can. Nothing's going to replace that arcade one up, man. The Star Wars one. That to me was mwah, one of the best cabs that they ever made. So I have no interest in this whatsoever. And something tells me I don't even know. I'm worried about that yoke, man. Is it the same quality as arcade one up or worse?
Yep.
And,
just really quickly, big shout out to my buddy Tyler's here from My Retro Life.
Woo,
Yeah,
I love
guys,
your
go
channel,
check out.
dude.
Whoa.
Go check out
Just watch one of
Tyler.
his videos, man. I loved his stuff.
I love Tyler.
Awesome video,
Nice.
super nice guy. The only thing is, if he says he's going to do a playthrough of Batman, he'll make it right to the Joker and just quit. Like, so that's something you got to watch out for. Like, he'll get right to the end of the game and then just quit. He still feels bad about that. He was right there, and I was like, man, so close.
Hate that guy, man. He's so horrible. He's mean.
Who, the Joker?
Oh, my retro life.
What? What are you talking about? My Retro Life's like the nicest guy in the world.
I just watched his Virtual Boy video. When his dad got him his Virtual Boy.
I think I watched him unpackaging an original Xbox or something like that at some point.
So Tyler is I know if James was here, he's a big mark for Pixel Game Squad. He was in the same situation. He actually had a pretty successful YouTube channel. Then he deleted it and restarted it again, and he's actually built it back up bigger and stronger than ever. Huge channel now, really happy for him. You guys might not remember, but he originally started on YouTube as the Sega channel. And his very first video he put out there, I don't know if it's still up on YouTube, but you got to go check it out. It's actually a modern day Christmas commercial where it's like picking out the perfect gift for my wife. Phantasy Star on the Sega Master System, and it is incredible. It's like a 90s style Sega commercial done to Christmas and Phantasy Star. So if it's up there, if you can find it, go check it out. It is fucking phenomenal. Like, I love it. Anyways, guys, so Brian, I apologize, I cut you off there. Is there anything else you want to say about this cabinet?
No, not really. I don't care for it, man. You'll never be able to replace the original Star Wars cab that Arcade 1-Up did. That was almost perfect.
Jay, your thoughts? You're going to tell me you hate the side art.
Yeah, you know what, Mike? Yeah. I'm not a snot. You know me. I don't care, but you are. That thing looks ugly. This looks like an ATM machine with a steering wheel. I have no idea what this is. I mean, I usually don't really care what cabs look like, but this looks horrible. I have no idea what I'm looking at here. And you guys are right. The Star Wars original Arcade 1-Up, that thing was a piece of art, and this is seriously. I have no idea. It literally looks like an ATM machine.
Yeah. I'm gonna get in the comments about it in a minute. Sheldon, what do you think, my man?
The best idea for this was actually from Stock Jock. While we were in Cleveland, we were talking about this, and he said the best idea to do with it is to make it into a Gorf. To take that all out, and I'm like, that is a great idea. This is a great shape for a Gorf, but for a Star Wars cab, I'll just keep my original one. I have no desire to have. It looks like a Tron, like boxy, like I don't know. It just doesn't do well for me.
ATM machine.
So
it's an ATM machine.
I'm gonna ruin things now. I'm gonna blow up the Cornercade. Cornercade reached out to me because he saw these images earlier. And he said, listen, man, you're not going to like Return of the Jedi. You're not going to like it at all. And that's all he said. And I sat there patiently for days. And like, I forced him to tell me what it was like, anything. And he wouldn't tell me shit, little jerk. So when I eventually saw it, I was like, okay, yeah, I know what he's talking about now. I do not like it. Bill, what do you think?
He'll never be on your show.
Well, no, he's. You know what? I will say this. I actually would have him back. I like what he did there a couple of weeks ago for the charity. I thought that was a really nice move. And I think some people hate him just because they hate like positive people. A lot of people have their opinions of him, and that's fine. But you know, I feel bad for the guy. I might give him a chance somewhere down the line. I know.
That's all you, Mike.
Everybody disagrees. And maybe I'll change my mind
So-
again. Who knows?
I always think
so
I'm going to give the
with
cornercade a chance, and then I listen to him talk, and I'm like, nah, I'm good.
No.
poor Danny.
He deserves what he gets.
No, I'm messing. I'm messing. I'm messing.
Bill's got to do it first.
Poor
Bill's got to
Danny.
have him on first. Then
Yeah.
we'll follow
Yeah.
his lead.
There you go. There you go.
Someone's
I'm
going to pull off
messing,
the
I'm messing.
Band-Aid. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess. All
Bill,
right,
sorry.
so,
We keep cutting you
yeah,
off.
That's all right. Listen, I think everybody said pretty much what you can say about this. I would agree. If I can put a one positive spin on this, I do applaud them for trying to somewhat mimic the look of the arcade with the way the side art is shaped on it. It's just the overall boxy shape just can't do it right and doesn't do it justice. And I do have to say, I too am worried about that yoke on it. It's probably going to be about the same as Arcade 1-Ups, but it just, at least in these pictures, it just looks and feels a little cheaper to me. I want to reserve judgment on it. Hopefully it's at least as good, because I don't think the Arcade 1-Up one is bad. I don't know, maybe if this is awful, people can just swap it out for Glenn's and there you go. But yeah, just the overall just boxiness of this, it just doesn't work. Like I said, I applaud them for trying. It just doesn't work.
No, so I knew this was going to be a challenge, and I will tell you, back in the day, again, this was another conversation I had with John D, and he asked me what I thought. He said, "I'm thinking about doing Return of the Jedi," and I said, "That's a difficult one to do." Again, an MG comment. That's a difficult wank. And I said, because it's such a different cabinet. It has such a unique shape. It's almost got like, that pedestal in the middle with the big box sitting on it. And I guess the people at Basic Fun looked at that shape and didn't want to risk recreating it because they thought that it would be not structurally good. So they didn't do that, which is a bummer, a real bummer. I can understand that to some extent. But there's a lot of things with the cabinet that also bother me. I mean, that control panel shouldn't be inside the box. That's again, Tron, other arcades. But if you look at the original Return of the Jedi, that control panel actually juts out front. And I guess they thought that would make the cabinet too wide. But that is going to be a little bit awkward with that control panel in there behind those walls, because you ask the question, especially on the Ultra Cab, how tight a fit is that going to be, right? For your hands to be in there on the yoke. Now, when the Irate Gamer originally went to, I forget what event it was when he saw this originally, was another toy fair.
Yeah, it was the
Toy
New York
box
Toy Fair
or
show.
somewhere, right?
It was the Toy Fair in New York City.
New York City Toy Fair. He said that he thought the yoke was just as good as what Arcade 1-Up did. So that's a pretty big compliment, man, because the Arcade 1-Up yoke was really good. Like, Glenn makes an excellent product, but I like, outside of wanting like something as a backup or something that felt more realistic, you really not need to swap out that controller. Like, you could literally stick with the Arcade 1-Up yoke and you'd be just fine. So it was really good, and to hear that gave me a little bit of confidence. One thing I will say was Justin was on P-Dub's show there the other night and pissed me off quite a bit. He's a super nice guy, super religious, believes in his faith, believes in being kind, but then for some reason then just intentionally goads me and says like the most stupid stuff to get me mad. So I don't really know what's going on there. But anyways, one point he made that I actually do agree with. One smart thing they did is, if there's people that originally bought a Star Wars or a big Star Wars collectors, they might be interested in adding this to the collection because it fits in line with, Star Wars memorabilia. This is an opportunity to get that cab and to do something different. They already have a Star Wars. Now all of a sudden they get a Return of the Jedi. So from a business perspective, and for people that collect Star Wars merchandise, really smart, right? John actually is here in the chat. Thank you very much, John, for popping in. I'm ear hustling. Yes, I want to do Return of the Jedi with the original form factor that was used in the 720 prototype. Not like this at all. This was eventually lost in translation, and now we have this. Yeah, it's true, John. Thank you very much for saying that, because I think, yeah, like what we have here is we have a really good idea and a cool idea of making a cab that would fit in with the Star Wars, but I think they just missed the mark, and it's really sad, unfortunately. Now, this isn't the only, the Ultra version isn't the only version we're getting. We're also getting a Supreme version, which unfortunately is more of the same. It's going to have the same games list. Looks like it's going to have the same shape. I don't see a coin door on this one, which means this is probably an early image. So, you know, I always wanted an XL.
These box images are supposed to be from much earlier in the year, like maybe even all the way back to like CES. So, or certainly back to that toy fair that they did. So, yeah, these are most likely changed.
Another question I have is, are these the Code Mystic ROMs, or are they completely different?
That's $1 million question. It might be different. That was one of the things that made the Arcade 1-Up one so special. Those ROMs were perfect.
Yeah,
because
really well done.
they even captured, like, people were upset because there was this glare when the thing shot and like the screen kind of grayed out, and everybody was up in arms like, oh, it's a shit emulation. And Code Mystics were like, no, hold on here, guys. That's actually exactly how the game looks, but you can't notice it because of the CRT or whatever. And we were like, oh, they did such an amazing job on that game, like perfect translation, that, you know, are we going to be getting Code Mystics on this? Were they able to just use that code, or, you know, I don't know how it works.
Yeah, another question I have whenever I'm looking at this cab is, but why? So why do you think that they didn't go back to the Star Wars? Do you think they're just trying something different, or do you think they had like some licensing issues where they couldn't make that original shape of what we had with Arcade 1-Up, or was this their only option, or did they think this is a good idea? Like, I just have a lot of like, why did you choose this out of everything you could have done?
I think with the pedestal version, they were concerned that it wouldn't be safe, right? Because again, you got to think this quality, this wood's not going to be any better than an Arcade 1-Up. So if you have a little pedestal with a top heavy box, they were concerned that there was a chance for tipping. And remember, again, this is a company focused on children. They didn't want to kill children with it. So maybe that's why they made it more boxy down the end. The other thing too is that control panel really should have been out front. But once you push that control panel out front, the depth goes into a crazy dimension, because now you got to build out the box on the bottom to match the depth that the pedestal came out on. And I don't think they were willing to do that. I think, unfortunately, that's a cost-cutting measure we're seeing there.
I'm looking at the original. Yeah, you're right. That sucker is deep.
Yeah.
That sucker goes way back. So, yeah. I've never seen the original, so I'm kind of looking at it right now. That is a very unique shape that I've never seen before.
The fuck, MG? Sometimes, man.
Don't read his stuff, man. What is?
And he gets mad about you not reading his comments.
I know. So this does kind of kill me, because like I'm looking at these cabs, and you know, I talk about this on a personal level. I'm seeing all this stuff come out, and I'm really struggling to be excited. There was a lot of hope I had, and maybe my expectations are too high. But, you know, I was so excited about an XL Star Wars. Even when he mentioned Return of the Jedi at the toy fair, I was like, well, maybe the XL is going to be the original Star Wars, and he just saw the Ultra Cab. So, you know, I struggle with this because, I mean, it's hideous. What they've developed is not something I want, but I don't have Star Wars. I can't buy a Star Wars anywhere right now. And, you know, it's not like Arcade 1-Up is going to make an XL Star Wars. So even though this is absolutely ugly, I might be in on this if it comes here.
Mike's getting it. Yeah.
Oh, it's so hideous. I miss
What
Star
have I
Wars too much,
done?
though. I know.
What have
I know.
So,
I'm
Mike,
not-
Mike,
not
just
proud
think
of
about this
myself
though. Arcade One Up is doing. They have like 3 games now, and they're just rehashing it over and over and over again. So maybe maybe Basic Fun is going to do the exact same thing with the 20 of them they have. So
Yeah.
every year they're going to have just a different take on it. We're going to get a Neon's Return of the Jedi, or we're going to get a, or like
boy.
one where you can put your own stickers on it. So,
I can't wait to get the Mossy Oak Return of the Jedi.
yeah, so just be positive. This is the first try, right? This is the first shot at it. So next year we're gonna get some variety here. So
It's a huge shot
I'm just
too.
hoping they do enough where they get enough money to actually start doing something we might want. So I mean, like you said, maybe they get enough feedback that will make the original cab. So I say give them a shot, see what happens.
I do want to go back and just mention something James mentioned as well. One thing that I found really strange was, and one of the things I didn't like about Glenn's flight yoke was obviously he couldn't put the Atari logo on it, so it comes blank. If you take a look at this box, it has the Atari logo for the yoke there, but in this new render, no Atari logo. So that kind of bothers me a little bit too. Might be a small issue for some. Just put a sticker on it, but
sticker cap.
It's a weird
Sticker
omission.
Cap's coming.
I will say,
I can make the sticker.
There you go.
I will say with these ones though, across the board, it looks like they're not like Arcade One Up and plaster, their name 1,000 times in 15 different ways across, the cabinet itself. Like Basic Fun seems like they're kind of, more discreet with like, hey, this is from Basic Fun, where Arcade One Up was like on the deck, on the marquee, on the, on the bezel, on the kick plate, like Arcade One Up, Arcade One Up, Arcade. Yeah, it's like it was everywhere. So I do appreciate that.
I love this comment. Rest assured, Basic Fun will end up hating us too, like Arcade One Up does. It's probably going to happen.
Absolutely true.
Yeah.
So
I think Big Fun will do well though.
You think Big Fun will do well, Mystery Encoder? Why's that?
Because you work for them.
Yeah, that's right. They got the secret weapon, Mike B. That's a funny comment because I do want to really preface that. Like, I look at this, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm disappointed. I mean, like, I had a lot of hope, I had a lot of interest, especially in the Supreme line if they ever come to Canada. And I can openly tell you, I will not buy one of those Ultra Cabs. I'm not interested at all. Like any of them. Like there's not a single one I'd be interested in buying. Supreme, that's the other thing. There were like surefire, definite buys for me. Like I was going to buy WrestleFest 100%. I was going to buy Star Wars 100%, and I would have bought Centipede 100%. All of them. I was all in for all of them. But now, after seeing some of these images, of course, nothing's final. I'm really struggling to justify purchasing any of them. I think WrestleFest is the one I'm the closest with, but even then, like, I don't have the artwork. I've always wanted a WrestleFest cab, but I can play it, the way that I can already play it like it's meant to be on a multicade. So it's a real tough struggle. And I hate that I'm having that conversation, but I don't know if they're releasing anything in this initial first wave that I'm even interested in, and that sucks.
B's doing a turn heel. He's like, I could play it on my multicade. I could just play this on my multicade.
I'm a multicader now.
No.
I'm kidding.
I've always been very clear about this. Like even with Robotron, like people are like, yeah, but if they don't do Robotron, they do a Smash TV. Won't you still buy the cab so you can play Robotron? And I was like, the fuck am I buying a cab? I gotta emulate Robotron on that doesn't have the right artwork. I can just play it on a multicade if that's the case. I'm very weird in the sense that I mainly buy the cab for the marquee game, and I want the marquee game to be represented by the cab, and I want everything to be accurate. I know that's not everybody's cup of tea, but that's why I would buy a Recreation Arcade. Otherwise, again, I can play it on a multicade.
I get that. It's kind of like just buying a cabinet. I mean, you could buy a G.I. Joe cab and still get pretty close to things, as far as that goes. Yeah. But if you don't care about form factor and stuff, you can go to any of those companies that just give you wood, buy artwork, and slap it on it if you don't really care what the original marquee title looks like.
Yeah.
So I get where you're going with that, because that's kind of been my argument for buying Arcade 1-Up over doing that, is the fact that it does match that original form factor and it does match that artwork and stuff pretty well. Never mind my inability to actually apply that artwork without screwing it up. But
I'm so scared of putting on artwork. Like, people are like, bubbles are no problem. You just spend the time. You know, put it on slowly. I'm not that
the
guy.
most anxiety-ridden experience ever.
Yeah. You're spending $400 for like art here in
artwork that you're
Canada,
gonna screw up.
and then you're gonna fuck it up. No.
I remember I reskinned my NBA Jam into a NHL Open Ice, and people watched me for 2 hours.
Yeah,
picking up artwork, throwing it back on, picking it back up, throwing it back on, because I was having a hard time. And then it started to ripple and started to tear because I was stretching it so much. So I was like, I'm done. It is just how it is.
So before we finish up, I did want to talk about from a business perspective. So even though me personally, I have a lot of problems with it, I don't necessarily think they're making huge mistakes. Like, I know if Joe Cade was here, he would say it, and I'm sure you guys feel the same way. Even though I might personally not like it, like I brought up with Return of the Jedi, this could still be a huge hit with Star Wars fans. Like, especially that game's never been done before in the home. It's not exactly accurate, but some people aren't going to give a shit. They're going to see that artwork. They're going to see Return of the Jedi. Perfect for their Star Wars home. So, and it is a very unique looking game. They didn't do a good job of recreating it, but the artwork on the side is right. The marquee is right. There's probably some interest, and it's Star Wars. It could do well. And no one's ever had a Star Wars XL before with a 19-inch screen. So that could possibly be there as well. The 12-in-1, even though I think it's fucking hideous, if that's the final version, people love that Arcade 1-Up 12-in-1, and it looked exactly like that horrible XL cab, except in the swan neck shape. So that could be a huge hit for them, and people want the extra games. They want the added options. Maybe that'll be a huge hit. And then with WrestleFest, as much as like it bothers me, the original people aren't in there. We talked about it. It's probably the only way we're going to get WrestleFest. Wrestling fans, even though there's emissions, still probably going to be all over this. It might be successful. Could turn into NFL Blitz. I guess we'll see. So as much as maybe I don't like them, I don't necessarily think that these are huge mistakes or that, people are going to not buy them and they're going to be a big failure. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It could be so much worse.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And people need to remember, too, we are not the only ones who buy these things. If Arcade 1-Up can put out Pac-Man every year and sell it every year, people who know nothing about this stuff will buy it because, like you said, it's Star Wars or it's Ninja Turtles or they're wrestling fans and they just see WrestleFest, and maybe they don't even remember the original game. They just are newer wrestling fans and they're interested in it. They'll sell.
So
yeah, because you're tapping into different markets with the wrestling fans, turtle fans, like you said, and Star Wars fans. I mean, look at Stern. They just came out with another Star Wars thing. Star Wars sells, and like you said, we might not like it. Like I said, it could be an ATM machine, but they seem to slap a Star Wars sticker on it and they want it. Like you said, collect. There's people who collect it all, right?
Now, are these going to be in stores? Like, are these going to be in retailers?
Yeah, if they go to stores.
Ultras are going to be available through retailers. We don't know 100% yet. I know that the distributor who's handling from the US is not going to handle them in Canada. So no idea there what's going to happen there. But here's the thing. I actually brought this picture up. There's actually placeholders already right now, and I can actually go to the page in just a second, but Best Buy here in Canada has jumped the gun and put these cabs up available. So out of the gate, these are the three that's going to be available, and there's your purchase price. So I know the $6.99
that's
seems
Canadian,
crazy.
though, right?
That's Canadian.
Yes, Canadian.
So did Arcade
$5.99
1-Up lose Best Buy? Because I've been walking through Best Buys and they have no Arcade 1-Ups. They've taken everything out.
Or it's like an empty too.
Now, keep in mind, we don't know if these are actually going to show up physically in stores.
Yeah.
They'll be sold on their websites.
Right,
But they could be just like Arcade 1-Up. They could just be, online only and
No,
not
Arcade One Up
physically in
has
stores.
displays in Best Buy. They did for until recently. I've been to the one in Cleveland. I've been hitting all these different cities, and they're all gone now. All of them are remodeled, and they're gone. So I'm wondering if they're switching over to the basic.
Can I just say that Ultra versus Supreme thing just annoys the crap out of me because it's confusing.
Yeah, because I don't know which one's
Yeah,
bigger.
it sounds like the same thing.
Which one's
Ultra
bigger?
It's like a
better to me.
it's like a Dragon Ball Z like power up. It's like I'm Ultra, I'm Supreme. Like which one is better? I don't know.
So you're saying that one should be Super Saiyan level 1, while the other one should be Super Saiyan level 2?
Yes, exactly. Like give us clear distinction on which is better. Like,
One should be the basic cab, and the other should be the big cab.
Yeah, basic and big.
Yes.
Just call them the big. Call them the
So that it's
XT
basic,
cab.
Big
fun
and
and fun.
giant.
Yeah.
Big and bigger.
So
Call them extreme.
Extreme. Here is Best Buy in Canada. The posts are up. It says available online only, available to ship. But if you click on them, it goes to a broken link. So there you can get a look at the WrestleMania cab. This is wild. Like it has Roddy Piper on the side. Like
What?
yeah. There's Piper right there on the side of the cab.
Oh, there you go.
he
Piper
was in
confirmed.
WrestleMania Challenge.
Piper confirmed.
So you
Yeah,
know
but that's
they're
that little
coming.
mini one with the console games. So don't.
That's
don't
right,
get too
yeah.
excited.
Yeah. So
Oh.
yeah, here's what we can take away from it. We do have a confirmed price thanks to this. So Arcade One Ups in Canada sell for $6.99 at retail for the regular basic deluxe cabs. So that means that your ultra line is going to be coming in at $4.99 US. So it looks like they're going to go with the original recommended price. So that means we can kind of guess that the Supremes at Costco and stuff are going to be $5.99. So there's your price points for the people wondering. $4.99 US in retail for the Ultra line, and club stores are going to have the Supremes for $5.99. So there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Too much.
There you
Right around where you thought. What do you guys think?
It's about fair. It's about what I
It's
thought.
fair. $4.99's
Yeah.
always been to me. It's been like the high up fair price.
See, that Star Wars looks better in that picture to me.
Well, actually, some people are saying it looks worse. Let's see if this
Yeah, I'm
page
like
works.
I don't know about that.
I know. I think it looks better. I mean, at least seeing the
Let's
back
see.
of it.
Well, if you're looking at it for someone who doesn't know, this common consumer, it's like you have the WrestleFest that looks like it's
Yeah.
a unique shape. Centipede looks
Yeah.
unique, and then it's like I got this boxing one over here. I don't know.
It looks better than the head-on version of it. I don't know.
It kind of looks like the Dragon's Lair from this distance.
Yeah, it does.
Like, I don't know, like that shape.
Okay, yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
I liked.
Yeah. So, anyways, guys, I think that's everything. Did I miss anything from the basic fun news last week? It killed me. I never got to do this last week, but I'm glad that some more news have come up. We got to find out some updated information. One of which being like Code Mystics is not working on the emulation for WrestleFest, so we can kind of put that to bed. We also know that some of those images that were leaked from the LA Toy 4 are prototypes and not final images. And we got the update about the rosters so we could have a healthy conversation and know what we're getting into before we buy WrestleFest. Was there anything I missed? Was there anything else?
Was
Did I-
there
did
any
I-
So the
images
only
of
other
that-
thing,
Yeah, go ahead,
okay,
Bill.
Brian.
I was just gonna say, is there any other images of that Tempest countercade?
Yeah.
Just the box, which again
Okay,
may be
just
an
the
older
box.
picture that changes, but yeah, we haven't.
Yeah.
I don't think we've seen it physically, other than from that toy book one from.
Okay.
Yeah, didn't it just look like
3
the
months back.
arcade one-up with it cut in half? They just took out the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
and
look
shrunk
that's
it.
great. That's perfect. To be honest.
Anyways, I do want to just say,
So-
thanks to all you guys. I know you talked about it on Arcades Anonymous. Bill, you talked about it on your videos and your shows. P-Dubs did a lot of coverage. Cornercade did coverage too. So you guys did awesome. I wish I could have joined you for this conversation last week, but here we are. So, and I also wish I could have been in Cleveland. Fuck, missed so much.
It was a great time.
Yeah, Cleveland was fun.
Bill,
It's
I'm
a
sorry.
lot bigger from what I'm hearing. It was a lot. I don't know.
That's what
had a
she
lot.
I'd say,
Yeah.
I'd say from the time that I met you, Michael, be that 2 years ago, it's probably like a third bigger. That's what I'd say. than what it
Oh,
was.
I'm so happy for Tom. I would love to get back. He writes me every year. I think Glenn's a little bit salty because Glenn went to the convention and really, gave his college effort to put on a good booth and be there all the time. And I kind of did the opposite, but yet I was asked to come back. Bill, you were going to say
there's
something.
some
I'm
truth
sorry.
to that. Yeah, the only other thing that I wanted to say is, so obviously, like I said, we've shown these pictures from Best Buy in Canada. From what we understand, too, as far as for the U.S., some of these cabs are actually like physically on their way over here right now. They're in shipping containers. They're on their way over here. Supposedly, they're supposed to show up on Amazon first, like within the next week or two. We could actually start seeing them show up, if not sooner. Show up on Amazon for pre-order, and then after that they'll probably hit some of the retailers like Best Buy and Walmart and stuff. So within the probably by early to mid October, we should definitely start
October
seeing
13th was what the date is specifically was moved around. I think it'll be leaked before that. Yeah,
I think it'll be before that too. But yeah, especially since these kind of like if these leak that quickly onto Best Buy Canada, I think we'll see them sooner.
Yeah, I keep looking everywhere, and I don't know who originally found this, but I'm going to give credit to my buddy Conti that I just did the weekend with in Toronto because he actually posted it in our fan group earlier. So thanks to him. I don't know who actually found it, but it's great to get a confirmation on what these prices are going to be. But then again, you do have to remember these are just placeholders, and everything can change because Meatball's going to lose his mind. Because I keep telling him that ROG Ally Xbox is going to be $899, and he keeps getting pissed off at me. But that's what the placeholder says. Yeah. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for coming on with me tonight. Check out Gamer Fridge Mondays, 2 hours before my show regularly. Galaga Guy is kind of everywhere, but his main show is Friday nights. Are you going to change that? I heard a rumor you were thinking about changing that, Galaga Guy.
I was, and then someone said your your gaming happy hour. So like, I make drinks every week, like arcade drinks. They're like, you can't really do that on a Tuesday, and I'm like, you're right. So I think I'm sticking to Fridays.
That's a little tough. Then again, happy hour is usually like around lunch to supper time, right? So
yeah. So I'm usually on about 10:30 on Fridays after our roundabout whenever Super Game Dudes ends is whenever.
And we always go long because I'm an asshole, so I greatly apologize for that. But check out Gaming Happy Hour. Galaga Guy and his wife make these cool drinks. You guys did like super chat goals to try these drinks there the other night. I thought that was awesome. So good job on that. Keep doing it. Chaotic, you do Yo Retro every Thursday night. There's never a delay there. You guys are mainly talking about at games in the pinball world. Do you want to give people a little heads up on what they can expect to see on your show?
So this coming Thursday, we got a new pinball pack, Williams Volume Pack 6, which has Funhouse, was it Space Station?
Yeah.
And Dr. Dude and his Extreme Ray, or whatever it's called. Amazing Ray.
So you're gonna be playing that for Funhouse.
Yeah, so we're going to basically review Funhouse and have a good time with that, and then we'll show a couple other retro stuff going on that the community may be interested in as well.
But there might also be some other news you'll be talking about on Thursday because I'll probably do a video on this tomorrow. But Zen Studios are doing a new Pinball Bites on the 25th. And they have, fuck it. We'll talk about it tonight. I'm going to keep going. I know it's been 2 hours. I can't help myself. Having fun. They're doing a show on Thursday where they've said they're announcing a Halloween themed or spooky Williams game. So really, spine tingling. Yeah, there's only two choices. It's either Bram Stoker's Dracula or Scared Stiff. I may finally get my Halloween wish. Spine tingling, Scared Stiff,
or Party Monsters, right?
No, Party Monsters. See, this is a misconception. Party Monsters is actually a hold on, let me check my memory. Party Monsters is actually a Midway game that was released under the Bally banner. So it's actually not a Williams game.
Okay.
Look, knowledge.
So we're getting Dracula.
Shows you think.
Yeah, we're probably getting Dracula. That's what everybody online is saying. But like, you know what? Here's the thing, though. Scared Stiff, like fantastic game. If
I
it's that,
love it.
like, I'm gonna splooge on the basic fun Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2-player, just like the other guy did. If it's scared stiff, but even if it's Dracula's a fantastic game. The only thing I don't like about Dracula is very dark. Like, it's got a lot of blues and reds, and it's a dark game to come across for virtual pinball. So I really hope it's scared stiff, but Dracula's a really good game, just not very aesthetically pleasing, in my opinion.
Yeah, I played both of them on VPX standalone all the time.
Yeah.
But Scared Stiff, I cannot get enough of, man. That multi-ball mode is so much fun.
Yeah.
And the good head, the pig head, all the different heads.
What is good head? I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah, it was,
you know the type.
Yeah.
Let me tell you a story.
So that's gonna be really fucking exciting because they
The
did
only thing that's
confirm.
going to suck about that is it's not the animated backglass. You need that, and I don't know if that games is going to have that.
Oh yeah, that's going to be tough because you can do it. VPX, it's fantastic, works so good. And for those of you
Confirmed.
that have what?
Good head's going to suck. That's confirmed.
So VPX does an excellent job with that animated backglass. So we'll see how it works. Obviously, it's going to be really good on Here's the other thing. Like, if this is the way they're doing things, usually when a game comes out for Pinball FX, like, we don't know if it's ever going to come out in other formats. But now where they're releasing everything at once, if they announce Elvira, not only are we going to have Elvira for Pinball FX for Halloween, we're also going to have it on At Games, and we're also going to have it in VR, baby. Holy fucking shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
all I care about is the VR now.
Yeah, that's all I care about too.
Yeah.
Do it.
And then last but not least, William, my man, Bill, Serious Bill, Professional Bill. You are, when is it, Wednesday nights or Thursday nights?
Wednesday, right before
Wednesday
Arcades
nights.
Anonymous.
Yeah.
Wednesday night, 8:00. Yep.
Right before Arcades Anonymous. And
I
you
lead
were
right
getting
into them.
You were getting a great turnout. I'm actually really impressed. I love your show. It's really done well. For a one-person show, you keep it fast, entertaining. You get a great response. You get a much better audience than Cornercade, which always makes me happy. I love seeing people do better than him. So good job.
Wow, he was just about to have him on the show like 20 minutes ago, and now he's like, so screw that guy.
I go back and forth.
Yeah.
I want to be a nice guy, but then I remember I can't.
Then you remember who he is.
Yeah.
I've been toying with the idea of moving the show to Sundays just because, like, family-wise, it would work for me. But I don't know. I think it works well on Wednesday, so I might wind up just keeping it there.
Just stay where you are, Bill.
I love
That's a good
Jason
lead-in.
saying this. Bill's brand new show can be found on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m.
Oh, he's also disagreeing
Jason.
with you
I
about
really
the
do.
Midway cab. Jason's also disagreeing with you. He's saying it was still manufactured by Midway.
They both were.
So Jason, I trust Jason.
I don't know about Jason.
If
Just
I
because
I'm a betting man, I would bet on him.
we'll see. We'll find out on the 25th. We'll see.
Mhm.
We'll see.
I'll bet on you, Bill. I'll bet on you, Bill. I'll bet on you.
Thank you.
They can do Party Monsters. Here's the thing that gets me, though. Here's why I think if that's the case, like, honestly, Jason, you were fucking up my life right now because I was justifying it to myself that the reason they were only releasing one game was because they couldn't do Party Monsters, but now you're telling me they can do Party Monsters, which means it's Dracula, and I fucking hate everything right now.
I don't know. I'm leaning on it being Scared Stiff just because Pinball Arcade had that license before, and it seems like Zen has been revamping a lot of stuff they did in the past.
Yes, the mystery encoder comes in and makes him feel better.
History Encoder, I love you. Even though you tell everybody I work for Big Fun, I really appreciate. I actually enjoy when you say that. Mike B works for Big Fun.
Yeah, we're showing them, right?
I'm just waiting for you to give me all the inside info from Big Fun, man.
You got to talk to P-Dubs. He's the one with
You
the
act
inside
like
info.
all this is new news and stuff when you distribute it, but we all know you're on the inside.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite negative troll comment. They know everything. They're pretending when they do speculation.
I've been one of those people right before the holidays where Mike B said something was going to happen and then it didn't, and I was with the rest of the community that shit on him for it not happening because he said it with so much confidence. Like this was probably 2 years ago with Arcade Went Up, I think.
Oh, was it the NFL Blitz announcement at Shaq's
Probably.
Funhouse?
Oh yeah.
That's probably what it was, yeah. And so
I had John D and his buddy Retro Ralph at the time both giving me shit about that. They were like, it doesn't make any sense. And I understand why they were trying to tell people that I was wrong, because obviously people are going to be disappointed if they tuned in and it wasn't NFL Blitz. So probably smarter than from a marketing perspective to cut me out at the legs. But it just didn't make any sense to me. Like Shaq's party is during the Super Bowl. It's known as Super Bowl party. It would just make sense that during the Super Bowl party, during the Super Bowl weekend, at a Super Bowl party, they would announce NFL Blitz. But I can see it the other way too. Of course, it's Shaq. It's an NBA party, I guess. So NBA Jam. Either way,
you're missing the point. The point was Mike B was wrong.
That's right. That's right. I was wrong. So how could I have inside info, right?
Correct.
You now. We're not going to dismiss the fact that you do now and that you work for Big Fun. But
anyways, I would keep all of you guys here all night. Thank you so much to the 100 people that stuck around and watched all of this. Thank you very much to everybody that came on the show. It's good to be back. This was way too much fun for me. I had a lot of fun and catching up on basic fun. And even though, I'm a little disappointed, it's not everything I wanted. I'm hopeful that it can do well, and there's going to be stuff people want, and hopefully there's wave 2 down there and they get a little bit better and they get a little bit more interesting for me. So anyways, everybody, thank you so much. I'm sure we'll see you again later this week at some point. If not, check out all these wonderful people, and then check out this little known show called Super Game Room Dudes on Fridays. I think it's okay. So check that out too. Anyways, guys, what were you saying?
I was just going to say, I'm just mad another YouTuber made me sit around for 2 hours. Another one of you, man. None of you have any courtesy for anybody's time.
Oh, that's another thing people say. Like some of the people negative.
Geez.
They're just like, you're wasting everybody's time. Your video doesn't have
With
any
your damn
value.
nothing burgers.
Yeah, they're nothing burgers. Blah. Well, anyways, Mystery Encoder, I'm sorry I wasted your time, but you are the guy who was trying to convince me to go like 2 hours early tonight too. Don't forget that.
I'm bored. Start your show early.
No, I said, I don't know if you know this, Mike B, but you can start your show early if you want to.
It's what I told Bill about his show. It's all about consistency. I will go out of my way if I can.
Show. It hasn't premiered yet.
Well, that's true too, but it's one of the things.
It's
even
a father-son duo, I heard.
Yeah. I will honestly tell you, I know MG wants us to stop wasting everybody's time, but one of the things, like, no matter if I'm tired, no matter if I had a bad day, anything, I'm determined to do my show every Monday night because I enjoy it, makes me feel better, and I want people to be able to count on me that I'm going to be here. So, yeah. Anyways, guys, on that self-serving pat on the back note, we'll see you next week. Thanks, guys. So here's the real dirt on what Basic Fun is doing. Basic Fun actually in Wave 2 stole another big license from Arcade 1-Up.
I heard
People are gonna shit